I think we're live. I think we're going. Hello, hello,
I think we're
hello.
live.
Yes,
Hello.
hello. Maybe. Anyways, I'm waiting for
Maybe.
the live little timer to go up there. Wait, it says live. Here, wait, six
Yep.
viewers.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyways, hello everybody. Hello, welcome to special 10-year anniversary of the Flash.
10 years.
The Flash.
Ooh.
That boy was running fast for
Yeah.
a long time. A
Long-
long time. And
long-
we're here.
Longer than I could probably run.
Yeah, I definitely could not run as long as he could. Let me just verify that we're actually live because it says we are, but are we really? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Are we
Now
actually live? That's the question.
it does. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, it looks like we pretty much caught us right away, but it took forever for the timer to pop up. What's good? Hello. I will be reacting, but it'll be delayed. I'm not watching the show live, unfortunately. But of course, Jake is here to chat about the show, and we're waiting for other people to show up whenever they want to show up. We'll see. Jake noticed it. The super chat from Scott. Thank you so much. I mean, this is not really debatable like they are
Right.
the best
Yeah.
seasons.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of competition there, sadly.
Yeah, the only thing is the season 8 and especially the season 9 suit are the best suits, at least for me.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good start out suit in season 1 and 2. Like it's a good startup suit.
Yeah, and it works as a year one, and it was in the middle of the CW's leather era, so it worked for
Yeah, until they switched it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy 10th anniversary. Exactly. Yeah. So people were like 10 years. I'm like, yeah, since the pilot aired.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people were celebrating yesterday. It's like, it's not.
Yeah, it's
not that because even the Flash waited till like the Instagram account officially posted it today because it's the 10-year anniversary today. I think because they saw the Flash because they've been making posts the past couple of days on their social media accounts. Yesterday they said the 10-year anniversary and then they put tomorrow. It's like I think people saw the 10-year anniversary
yeah.
And they all jumped on it, not realizing
they didn't see tomorrow.
Yeah, they didn't read it.
Read
favorite Flash. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I would always say Barry personally, but there's a lot of great Wally stuff they've done with the character over the years.
Yeah. I've always been more of a Wally fan myself. The Mark Waid run that starred Wally, still probably my favorite Flash run to this day. And yes, Wally was the Flash that I grew up in comics reading. Although my first exposure to Barry Allen was actually through John Wesley Shipp's '90s show, which I have the DVD set for right here. That's the first time I saw Barry Allen because I had read some Wally comics, saw that series. And I'm like, wait, where's Wally West? And they said, hey, here's Barry Allen. It's like, hold on, what? That was such my response. I was so confused. But I love Jay Garrick as well. He was always one of my favorite Golden Age characters. And I admittedly haven't read too much of Bart, but from what I've seen, it's not
okay.
Yeah.
CW time. Oh my God, it's CW time.
Oh, we're back. They roped us in again.
Oh yes. Scott, unfortunately, I think the show was starting to fall apart before Eric Wallace took over. If you'd watched season 4 with The Thinker and season 5 with Gracie Cicada, it was already falling down. Eric was he was trying. Yeah. He was trying.
So I think part of what really didn't help either is from season 6 onward, they, see, at first I thought it was a good idea that they gave these villains how they had, 2 or 3 villains a season because it felt like they were just dragging one villain out the entire time. But then you kind of ran into the opposite problem the more they kept doing that. And the villains, they only had like 4 or 5 episodes, but that resulted in them severely lacking development. So,
yeah. And I think also the problem was they did most of their good shit early on, story-wise, villain-wise. Yeah. It's kind of hard to maintain a show because, and I get it, because the last time they did a Flash show, they waited till the very end to start introducing like actual rogues. And if you look at, say, like Arrow, there was no guarantee that show was going to be a hit. So they were just trying to do some major storytelling early on because they didn't know if they were going to get more seasons. And so the Flash did the same thing. Like they didn't want to waste any time. They didn't want to do any build up to Reverse Flash. It's immediate.
Yeah, the only thing that they really kind of teased and made you kind of play the long waiting game for was the Night in 2000 that they pay back to. That's the only thing that they stretched out.
And I feel like that would eventually have been covered whenever they knew they weren't going to continue.
Right. You know,
So like
even if
say
it
like
didn't,
yeah, say like season 5 was the end, they would have wrapped it up in season 5.
yeah. Because like they would have, you know, like what was that, 2019 when that happened? They would have had a jump to, you know, the year to go back and then done it that way. But we ended up getting
Something.
pretty close to the real time anyway. So
Yeah. 10 years, yeah, I'm old exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
It
telling
depends on
me.
how you look at it. I mean, Iris is a mixed bag, I think. Or because I would when I was rewatching the show, getting into mostly like almost at the end of season 2, Iris is not the same character she is later on. They
Yeah,
completely shifted her character. I really feel like she was great early on. Like she was a
yeah,
great side character.
I think
Um,
so.
I think the problem was once they basically introduced her to Star Labs, at first it's fine.
Yeah,
Over time, it just got, I don't know. Like it felt like they didn't know what to do with her.
yeah.
Um,
There's only ever one season that I thought Iris was bad in, and that was season 4. You know, the rest it was kind of the thing where I didn't really feel like they knew what to do with her. But season 4 was the only time I felt like she was really detracting.
mhm.
And you know, a lot of people would say, you know, that she was the worst side character, but I would argue as the seasons went on, she looked great in comparison to a lot of the other side characters.
That's true. I mean,
Yeah,
they still made her more enjoyable than
yeah.
Chester
The,
and
the,
all that.
the list goes on.
Oh yeah. I don't agree with this because yeah, COVID made it harder to do stuff, but the crossovers didn't make the shows good.
No.
They were just an added bonus. I get your point because hey, we didn't know no crossovers. Well, we technically did. Flash
Yeah.
like did two like crossovers within their own show. They didn't do crossovers with other shows. They literally brought actors and characters into their
Yeah.
stuff, which I think worked overall. I mean, look, they weren't perfect, but damn, they were
Yeah.
trying because they're like, shit. Well, we can't do a crossover because a lot of these shows are gone. So
Yeah.
how do we do this? So
Yeah, I think it just kind of rubbed people the wrong way that with Armageddon, especially how they marketed it as a crossover, and it really wasn't. It was a Flash centric story that just brought in guest characters in the episodes. I think the thing that also didn't really help it is that, you know, apart from like the Atom and Black Lightning, most of the characters that they brought in were original characters that they made up for the show that a lot of people didn't exactly love.
yeah,
So that didn't help things either. But you know, a lot of your big names like your Green Arrow, your Supergirl, they were gone. So there wasn't a whole lot for them to work with that they could do within a budget. Because you know, people were saying, "Oh, they could have brought in, you know, somebody like John Jones," but I'm like, yeah, but that would have cost a lot more because they would have wanted to keep him in
yeah.
CG the whole time.
Well, when they did bring in David Harwood, he didn't become Martian Manhunter. He was just himself. Like
Well,
there was no like they didn't do
yeah.
CG, you know.
Well, they did whenever they did the music crossover with him and Supergirl.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about when oh no, because no, him and Mon-El came over.
Yep.
Yeah, and they were there. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, like they would just go, they would make sure not to do a lot of CG. And
Right.
speaking of CG, Phil, what's up, man?
Hey guys.
Oh,
Sorry I'm
I,
late.
I was going to say that was the perfect segue for somebody else.
Oh, for Canadagrass. Now he's doing
Yeah.
a live stream about Superman and Lois. That's fine.
Gotcha.
Perfect shirt to promote
Yeah.
Flash. Perfect.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely a
I
perfect one.
honestly,
yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah.
happened to my Flash T-shirt. I
I-
lost it in many moves.
From the
Yeah.
the classic.
I have a red
Poster.
shirt. I got this DVD set and I got this collector card. So that's my
Let
stuff.
me
for
turn
the
off my
night.
mic and see if I can find something DC related. Let's see. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Ooh,
Ooh, fancy.
ooh, nice.
So Ronan remembers the commercial leading up to the premiere. I mean, back then they were like every single
Yeah.
day airing tons of commercials. And I think the original pilot trailer has like over 3 million views. I
Yeah,
think.
it's crazy.
Let me set this up.
And I know one of those pilot commercials, they I think they had Arrow in it kind of teasing a crossover before the show even started. So like it's that classic image where you see him in the suit and he's aiming 3 arrows at the Flash, even though you don't see it's the Flash in the picture, but they were
Yeah.
teasing a crossover before the show even started.
Wow. Like, okay, so 10 years ago, IGN's Flash trailer was 1.1 million views. The Flash teaser, Arrow meets the Flash from 10 years ago from IGN, 8 million views.
Phew.
Now, I think they actually delisted the original trailer. You can probably find the uploads of it, but the original
Yeah.
CW version is gone.
Yeah, these are re-uploads.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid. But yeah, I mean, that's you know, Like back then, the marketing was really good.
Oh yeah, and for the first 2 seasons, and probably even into the third one, it was not only the most popular Arrowverse show, it was the most popular show on the network at one point.
Mm-hmm. Even the Flash season 9 trailer, like when they were before the show even came back, over 1 million views on that trailer.
Yeah, and it might have just been because it was the last one. People are coming back saying, "Hey, there might have been a drop here and there, but they thought, let's see how it ends."
Yeah, let's see where it goes.
And everybody has their opinions about the ending, but
I'm guessing Iris is more interesting than Cecile, or saying everyone's more interesting than Cecile. I don't know what.
Both statements are true in my opinion.
Yeah. We've heard this a lot. I don't think Grant would continue because Grant actually extended his contract past season 7 for 8 and 9.
Yeah.
And I think they knew going into 9 it was the last one.
And that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why they wrapped up the whole John Diggle storyline in 8 out of fear they wouldn't get a 9th season. And then when they did, they're like, okay, so let's wrap this up here.
Yeah, let's just end it. Just end it now. They made Red Death annoying and bad. I mean, I don't know if they intentionally did it, but I mean, yeah, they could have handled Red Death better.
I mean, it wasn't going to be the comic Red Death, no matter how much they wanted it to be. So, I thought there was something cool that I thought they could have done way back when, is that they could have kind of Arrowized it, and instead of having it be Bruce Wayne, maybe have it be Oliver Queen, someone that Barry has a connection with. But
I mean, I like the suit.
The suit looks good when it's standing still, but in motion, I thought it just looked too bulky.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about speedsters in the show that weren't great character wise but had a great suit, I'd say probably the biggest contender for that is Godspeed.
Yeah, Godspeed looked good, but man, that was a botched template.
Messy.
Very messy.
It came right after in my opinion, the worst part of the show, which was the Forces Quest arc. Because I mean, I didn't even like that arc in the comics, so I'm thinking they're really not going to make this good in the show, and then they didn't.
Yeah.
You know who was good?
Who's that?
Everything was Zoom. Season 2 was like fucking amazing.
Well, it was show.
Oh yeah.
Season 2 was the absolute sauce. I love season 2 of The Flash so much.
And Zoom was so menacing.
Yeah.
And the way they ended season 2, setting up Flashpoint, it just everybody was so hyped for that, and then there was a lot of mixed opinions with how they resolved it.
I still think this is one of the best character posters they did for the Zoom. I just love that.
Easily. Yeah. No, I like that all of Earth 2's characters, any super character, they were all dark, twisted versions of Earth 1 counterparts. And I love that they made Hunter Zolomon this fucking twisted serial killer who got hit by lightning in a fucking asylum. That was dope as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
And they kind of made it to where, the people on Earth 1 that were villainous, on Earth 2, they were kind of like, random innocent nobodies. Like on Earth 1, you have Deadshot as like this master, sniper. In Earth 2, he's like a bad shot, stumbling idiot. Yeah.
The interview just came out where Tyler Hoechlin's Superman and Todd Helbing, the showrunner, said the finale of Superman and Lois will honor the end of the Arrowverse. I don't know how, because the show is not connected to any of it.
Connected, yeah.
So,
I mean, and we haven't seen the Earth Prime Superman since Crisis, so I don't really know what they would do there.
Yeah, like are they gonna have Tyler Hoechlin be that version of Superman in a scene where he meets himself? And that would make no sense.
Yeah,
like what's the point?
Right, because I mean, that's not a story you could wrap up in just like 1 or 2 episodes when you only have 10 in the season.
Yeah, the thing is, they're already doing their own version of Doomsday.
Superman.
Yeah, Death Superman, and also Lex.
Yeah,
and then now they've confirmed Lex's daughter is in it.
Daughter,
it's like, it's like okay.
I'm just hoping that they use the smaller amount of episodes to their advantage and not have it pandered with filler. I hope it's all tight, concise storytelling.
Yeah, I guess about the Flash. The final arc should have been Justice League returning so the final arc in the Flash or crossover arc should be Justice League. Like, okay, you're gonna pay a lot of those actors to come back.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work. I can hear that Melissa Benoist would not have come back.
Right, and they already had to pay all the series regulars. Because I'm pretty sure that season had the most series regulars.
Yeah, and also too, their budget got cut while they were filming season 9. So
right.
there was, and the fact they already had Stephen Amell, they already had David Ramsey, they already had a number of actors returning throughout the whole season. They had no way to pay to get a lot of these people back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's that argument of like even when you take budget into consideration, there's always the argument that they could have done for that infamous little block of filler in the final season that there's an argument to be made that they could have done something more interesting within a budget, but at the end of the day, we got what we got.
We got what we got.
Yeah.
I don't know. Deathstorm. I don't think Deathstorm was amazing, but I do like the design of Deathstorm.
Yeah, I thought he looked great.
Yeah.
I didn't like so much that it was an enemy of Frost and not Flash, but
I mean it's Ronnie, so I mean, or
yeah.
a
version, yeah.
Yeah,
a version of Ronnie.
Version of Ronnie.
Which, I mean, I thought Robbie Amell did a good job playing that like evil version of a Deathstorm character.
I felt bad for him because it's like, oh, he finally gets a show and he's good.
Yeah. Every time they bring him back, they kill him.
Yeah. It's the running joke. But it is what it is.
That design looks great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The fact they actually did it.
I'd say that was probably, I don't know if that was the best arc in season 8, but it was still pretty good.
And people thought, oh, this is teeing up Blackest Night. No, it's not.
No, fuck, it's not.
No, it's the guy. No, because it's funny because I think Eric Wallace came out and said if we had season 10, we would have done a version of Blackest Night. No, you wouldn't have been able to afford it.
No. I can't tell you how many times they teased anything Green Lantern and then did not pay it off at all.
Yeah, every time.
Any of those shows.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Like, I remember, I think it's in season 4 of Arrow. He's in a bar and you see someone with a Jordan fucking jacket on.
Jordan,
and it's like, oh, that's the closest we're ever gonna get to Green Arrow and Hal Jordan being in the same room.
And then they tease and build up John Stewart for so damn long and do nothing with it.
Yeah, what David Ramsey is, it's like, okay.
I mean, they even go as far as giving him like a green and black suit in Arrow's last season, so it's kind of like Green Lantern.
Did you see the concept art where they were going to try to put in the Green Lantern symbol?
Like the actual logo there. Yeah.
I'm so glad that didn't work because that would have been so stupid. Because it would have made it worse when he doesn't become Green Lantern.
Right. And they even had like the green glow under the helmet, I think, too.
Yeah, they did. But also, like, the biggest stupid thing is he opens the box, he's staring at it, but then he finally admits later on, well, actually, I can't see it. I don't know what it is.
It's like, really?
But that's not how it works. Okay, like the green, if it's going to present itself, because it's presenting itself to you, you would be able to see the ring. It would fly on your hand. Whatever.
Right, like it would choose you. It wouldn't like test you to get in there. That's not how the lore works.
No. Whatever. Yeah, whenever I think of the turn of the Arrowverse, Liv Melissa's Kara and Grant is Barry. Yeah, I think great casting. Because originally Barry was on Grant Gustin auditioned for Roy.
And Melissa Benoist auditioned for Thea.
Yeah, which would have been crazy.
Yeah.
And then you think, okay, that means that Willa Holland would have been in Supergirl.
And then
Cole Haynes would have been the Flash. Yeah.
That's so weird to visualize now.
I think it's obvious that Gunn's DC universe would be more fantastical than the Arrowverse, at least. DCU, it's kind of hard to say because DCU is going crazy. So based on what though? There's literally no frame of reference for James Gunn's DC universe yet. I mean, based on what he's announced, but I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I think the only thing that's really telling them that is because they have like a lot more of a budget to work off of than CW did.
Plus, they don't have any limitations in terms of what characters they can use because James Gunn can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, they can use everybody. That's why they had to keep making so many original characters, is because they couldn't use certain ones.
Right. And that was the problem. He even said it himself. He's like, DC and Warner Brothers weren't even mining the mint of DC. Like, you had Zach using characters here. You had the CW sectioning off characters over here, even though they tried to say, oh, it's not all siloed, it's all gravy. And it's like, no, you still have executives fighting over who can appear where. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and then every time the movies wants to do something, the TV gets the short end of the stick.
All right, because they would say, oh, audiences will be confused. One, no, they won't. They're not that stupid. And also, you literally have two Flashes appear on screen at the same time, so that argument is null.
Yeah, in Crisis. Yeah, they forced that in.
Right.
Or also, too, it's funny. When I went to go see Justice League Thursday night preview screening, They had to end Deathstroke.
Yep.
Guess what was airing that night on the CW? An episode of Arrow with Deathstroke in it.
Yep.
That sounds like, that's interesting.
The last time you saw him, too. And the time, too, this has really got on my nerves, how they basically killed off the entire Suicide Squad on Arrow because they were using them in the movies. So they wrote off Deadshot, wrote off Amanda Waller. I think Harley Quinn would have appeared more beyond her cameo in the second season, but ultimately it didn't get to happen.
Yeah, that cameo got axed because of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Well, not axed, but it got shortened, I should say.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tom Cavanaugh was used too much, but then again, I think Matt Letcher was too busy on other stuff, and I think they just planned to keep having a Wells around, so it was just an easy fallback on them. Plus, yes, he's not actually, Eobard Thawne, but that's the face he took over, and that's like if season 1 wasn't as well received, I could see them cutting back Tom Cavanaugh and putting Matt Letcher more and stuff if they could. But
I don't think anyone expected Tom Cavanaugh's Harrison Wells to be as well received as he was.
Right.
Yeah. And I honestly think season 2 was just a way to go, oh, here's actually Harrison Wells. And then they probably thought, okay, this is it. We're going to have him in season 2. And then, because in season 1, when he was pitched to come on the show, he's like, I don't want to play Harrison Wells. And then they said, no, actually, it's Reverse Flash. But then in season 2, you actually get to play this character now from another Earth. And then at that point, they're okay, let's just keep bringing back a different version just to see what happens. And
that was one of my favorite reveals, was the Christmas episode where he puts the tachyon machine on top of the Reverse Flash costume and he goes, Merry Christmas. Oh my God, that was a fucking badass reveal. Like when he did the flash ring to the hidden door in Star Labs, I was like, he's Reverse Flash.
Yep.
Been calling it for 8 episodes. He's fucking Reverse Flash. And then they do that, and I was just fucking like, boom! Oh shit, it's happening! They're doing the thing. Yeah. And then immediately, I just finished reading Mark Waid's Flash run, where Wally is like being mentored by a Barry Allen, and then it's not. It's the Reverse Flash.
Yep. So they pretty much took half the Return of Barry Allen story and used it for season 1.
Yep.
And that's still, like I was saying earlier, that's still probably one of my favorite Flash runs today, is Waid's entire run.
Mark Waid and I disagree on a lot of things. The Flash isn't one of them.
Agreed. And the whole thing about Tom Cavanaugh too, I liked him in the first 2 seasons, but I felt like with season 3 and onward, they kept just making these characters as kind of an excuse to keep them around. And at least for me, it didn't get interesting again until the lead up to Crisis, because you had him actually be Pariah, which I thought was kind of cool. But then, and granted, he wasn't around for long after that, but the fact that, they kept falling back on his Thawne, like within the timeline of season 1 and the 14 years that happened before that, within that timeline, it made sense. But everything after season 1, Crisis on Earth X, seasons 5, 6, 7, and onward, the fact that he just kept on coming back did get a little bit annoying. And, I haven't said, it would be good if they had maybe once a season they had Matt Letcher's Reverse Flash come on, so you could see, more and more of the pre-season 1 Thawne, because you didn't really get that much of Letcher's Thawne's backstory.
When they did have him on, I think it was really good, though. I think when he was there, especially. I guess we'll bring him in. He's a Jedi, though. I'm not sure if he's a speedster or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speedsters did use lightsabers, so there is that.
Yes, in the prequels, actually, episode 1, Phantom Menace, there's a quick scene that they dash off camera real quick, escaping some battle droids.
Oh yeah, they did do that.
Yeah,
I forgot.
So I am considered speedster. Yep. Some may call me the Black Racer, but that's for another story.
Oh.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's kind of weird, man. How been 10 years now?
10 years today.
Believe it?
10 years today.
Man, listen, I remember season 1 of The Flash came out, I believe, either my junior or my sophomore year of high school. And that was kind of like the show at the time. The early seasons of CW were good. So every week we'd just talk about it, and now seeing these DC characters coming full fruition and everything. And Arrow, I'll be honest with you, I was actually late to the game of Arrow until once they announced they're making Flash. So then that got me to watching season 2 and then going back to watching season 1. And but yeah, it's been Flash since day one. It obviously definitely dwindle in quality after I guess around the first 3 or 4 seasons. Like after around season 4, that's when I kind of dipped off with it. And I think also that's when the pandemic kind of came through, where they went to a whole nother regime of showrunners and stuff. But yeah, I mean, still, without a doubt, that was an era that we can at least appreciate that existed. It was a time that watching Chainsaw's reactions and YouTube people reactions to it, stuff like that. So yeah, so it was a good time to be in.
Yeah, I think when the pandemic came around, they were just finishing up their 6th season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was right after they had changed showrunners.
Yarp. Oh, yarp.
Yep.
Is that canon? Yes, it is canon. Yes.
Yeah. It is actually. It's a canon event.
Yeah. They're using lightning like the contracts and Barry running on lightning. I mean, they had to try to keep doing something different, right? Because at a certain point, the combat was getting that's why they did the lightning swords.
Yeah.
Because how many times can you see speedsters fighting all the time? Well, it is, but but how many times can you watch a speedster fight all the time? There's cool moments, and they kept doing it. I mean, the whole point of going back to the night of his mom getting killed is a huge speedster fight.
Mm-hmm.
But how many times can you keep going back to that after they've done it so many times? So I get it. They try to do something different. And then right after that lightning fight, he beats the shit out of Reverse Flash like he's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
you still got that part of the fight. People seem to forget that because the lightning swords. I get it.
Yeah.
And also the way they revealed Reverse Flash too. It wasn't like he just showed up. He popped up on a monitor first before they actually showed him. Guys, come on.
Really?
I wonder if they just didn't have the coverage to actually properly show that. So they're like,
maybe. Well, because you see a flash of red lightning, and then Godspeed gets knocked away, and then you see him pop up on the screen.
I wonder if they just didn't get enough coverage of Tom Cavanaugh. So they're like, shit, okay, we're gonna have to figure out another way to make this work. I mean, that's what I learned over time when shooting our little movies. If there's not enough coverage, we're not gonna go back to reshoot.
Yeah, that
figure
is
it out.
Something I'm in the process of now, doing my own, and it is a process.
My least favorite season. I mean, look, I can say it's my least favorite season, but also at the same time, it did birth Cicada. It did birth Gracie. So it's kind of hard to bash it because it also gave me some really amazing, just really bad moments, but still amazing at the same time.
There were also some good moments that were actually good in that season. I don't think it's completely devoid.
I agree.
It had one of the better storylines of the Flash. Thawne manipulating Nora to get him free in the future.
Yeah, that was good.
That whole story.
I really wish that was more of a main plot. It was at points, but I wish it was more of a main plot in season 5.
And then they had that whole thing where they did the 100th episode where they went back to the first, all the seasons before that. And paid back, Thawne, Zoom, Savitar, and this much of the Thinker. But there was still good stuff in season 5, so I don't think it's beyond not great villains and a pretty bad suit. I don't think it's the worst season.
No,
maybe season 7 is.
I would say season 7 for
the
me.
Speed Force,
probably.
Yeah. I mean, part of me, even in season 7, I still want that Letterman jacket. I mean, I still look fire, but it's like. But aside from that, I think instead of saying, I guess what was our least favorite season, even though we're kind of consistent saying that's probably season 7, I think one of the decisions that was made in the show that kind of frustrated me was when they kind of turned into Flash and Friends. Where they immediately, it kept going back into a point where not saying you can have any secondary characters that's supporting because Arrow does it and stuff like that, but I think it's very weird that when you actually have a main sidekick like Kid Flash that has been with Barry Allen and stuff like that, they had almost the exact same experience as Roy Harper and Arrow, where that was the partner in the comics, and then that actor decided to depart from the show, and then they had to create some narrative to add any other secondary characters to tag along with Flash during his adventures, or the main hero adventures, I should say, because it's the same thing happened on Arrow. And to me, that was frustrating, even though I understand at the time. I mean, that's the same time when King Lonsdale came out, and literally verbatim, same thing. Roy Harper, the actor for Roy Harper, he came out too. So even though like I respect their wishes in their personal lives and everything, but just in terms of story narrative, I wish we just would have got more just to stay on instead of having the rest of other characters to tag along throughout the series, in my opinion.
Because having all those side characters too in the later seasons, it really made it to where Barry Allen did not feel like a competent superhero and a competent leader. He was always having to ask them for help and get advice from them, and that got especially old the further and further you got into the show. Because you would expect him to have the same level of leader quality and level of competence that you saw from Oliver Queen in the good seasons of Arrow, but he never got to that point.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Man, I don't know, man. I wish the show just, I don't know. I wish it had maintained a certain quality, but unfortunately, like I was mentioning earlier, like they used a lot of their good stuff early on, and it's kind of hard to maintain, especially with how they were structuring things. We have to make this work for 23 episodes. Like it's hard to do that once you've already done a lot of big, heavy hitting storylines.
Yeah.
And you would think that it would be easier whenever the episodes got down, but then they separated the seasons at that point. So, you had half of like a 17 episode season with one arc and then a bit of another and then some filler in the middle. And then, like I said earlier, that just resulted in villains and storylines not getting developed.
Yeah. I was sad when Cisco left too.
Yeah.
I love Cisco. He was honestly probably one of my favorite characters on the show easily.
His departure came at a rough time, though. I mean, I was kind of feeling to the point where they didn't really do much with him since like season 4, but his departure came at an unfortunate time because that's when the supporting cast, not saying anything against the actors, but that's when the supporting cast was probably at its weakest, and then he leaves.
Yeah, and he's been, and I think the actor's been wanting to leave for a while.
Yeah.
Before that, so.
Yeah, he left, and then they brought him back for Barry.
Like a few episodes later.
Like a few episodes and stuff. So, but I think there are also a few people. I'm not saying that departed from the show. Because even like the controversy of I forgot the actor's name that played
Hartley Sawyer.
Yeah, the elongated man. But that during that time, and how, and obviously how weak they wrote him off, with the mask character, and then just walked off. Say, hey, bye.
And he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, and there was rumors swirling that they were going to recast because of the fact of his powers, but I also understand the point of like, okay, we're going to have him for several seasons, and then we're going to replace him and bring in someone else. So I get the point of like, okay, let's bring in Sue a couple times here and there, but let's not let's find ways obviously to not show him.
Yeah.
But to not also completely recast completely. So I don't know.
But then they kept bringing Sue back after he had left. But there wasn't really much point to having her character there anymore.
It was just another character just to be there.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, a lot of those actors were needing to have more time off, so they needed to bring in other characters that were not regulars to pick up the
would have been nice.
Basically.
Would have been nice if they did a version of Identity Crisis. I just want to see Deathstroke snap some wrists. That's what I want to see. That would have been great.
Just bring Man and Bennett in. Just fuck it. Who cares?
Yep. Because in that book, Deathstroke just goes whole hog on basically everyone in the Justice League who is not part of the Trinity or the big guns. He goes actually no. I think Connor Hawke is one of the he fucks up Connor Hawke in that.
Yeah, Connor Hawke is one of them.
Yeah. So I wouldn't mind seeing Deathstroke just fucking straight clown some members of the Justice League while people are trying to figure out who killed Sue Dibney.
He just walks in beating the shit out of Chester and stuff like, what happened? It's like, I don't know. Deathstroke just walked in.
Well, you saw what Deathstroke did in one of the last Arrow episodes he was in, and all those action sequences. They wouldn't have stood a chance.
He just stabbing people.
God no. Hell no.
It would have been funny as hell that he just walks into Star Labs beating the shit out of everybody.
And there was no super serum when he was in that.
Nope.
He was in that fighting stance.
Nope.
That was just pure Slade Wilson.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of comic book references, I thought it was funny how during that time, it was the height of the New 52 era, and everything you saw was a New 52 channel news network, New 52 airplane, 52 portals and a different
52
Earth.
everything.
52 Earths.
Yeah.
52 everything. Yep.
Yeah. I remember I was watching season 2 of The Flash early on, and it was I forget what episode it was, but there was a whole thing about they were replaying the season 4 premiere where Oliver Queen says I am the Green Arrow. They were playing that on channel 52. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. This is start moving back. Oh yeah, the connectivity. That's when they start really just hammering in. Guys, we're connected.
And I think that happened in Flash season 4 too, because it's right around that time in Arrow season 6 whenever he first gets outed as the Green Arrow, and I think Barry and Iris are in therapy, and they see a magazine that says Star City's mayor is masked vigilante. It's they had these little things that tied the universe together, made it feel a lot more connected.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll give Greg Berlanti some credit is the fact that even though this was television, that the fact that it still established some sense of cohesive connectivity that wasn't just I don't want to say weak in any sense of way. It actually was organic. The fact that you had some of these characters to jump in because we're just across the city from each other, Central City and Star City and everything. So it made sense that if some amount of crossover happened, but even though we have not gotten that much connectivity cinematically, it was still good to see that at least on television, at least in the early seasons of The Flash and Arrow, especially when after the Crisis event, before they couldn't mention anything about Batman in season 2 when he had the whole flashlight BS.
It's I saw that in a comic book.
Yeah, right. And then after Crisis, that Cisco had a Superman shirt, and then he I don't remember having this shirt.
Yeah,
but it's just I thought that after Crisis, that bringing all the universes together still solidified some sense of cohesiveness, and I think he mentioned that as they went to the new regime for DC, he kind of felt left out because he's well, I invested over 10 plus years of of content for the CW DC, and then here I feel like it's kind of went out the window. But
I think that's what Mark Guggenheim said.
Mark Guggenheim did say
Greg
that.
Berlanti or Mark Guggenheim?
That's Mark Guggenheim.
Mark Guggenheim. Mark Guggenheim was the one who was
bad.
kind of butthurt about it. He really didn't have any right to be. It's dude, you did 10 years on network television of cohesive DC storytelling.
Hell, I would have loved to have his job. What's he complaining about?
I mean, it's just dude, be proud of the fact you did the thing, and now you're basically begging to do it again. It's just kind of tacky.
Yeah. Plus, he had other credits during that time too. It wasn't like he was just doing that shit. He had other stuff he was doing, Carnival Row, that Amazon show.
Yeah.
Oh, and you guys not remember that he also co-wrote the Green Lantern movie? No,
well, he also hold on. Yes and no, because Warner Brothers fucked that movie 10 Ways to Sunday. Greg Berlanti was supposed to direct it. Mark Guggenheim and him did a pass on the script, I think, with Michael Green, and then at the last minute, Warner Brothers pulled the rug out from everybody. Yeah, fuck that entire movie up. Once Martin Campbell got on board, everything went straight to shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm surprised Greg Berlanti even went back to WB and continued to work for them. And when they posed him hey, do you want to do something DC related? And he was like, fuck it, I'll do Green Arrow on television. And look what happened.
Yeah,
you don't get the Flash without Arrow.
No.
If not for season 2 of Green Arrow with the episode The Scientist, we would have never gotten Barry Allen.
Yep, because that two-parter, he literally gets struck, and I think it's episode 9 of that season.
It's episode 9,
You see his origin unfold there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were struggling on season 1 of writing Arrow, and they had already started planting the seeds about bringing Barry Allen, and then he wakes up in his own show.
Yeah.
So they had that plan, but obviously, who knows if it would have happened.
I mean, it helped that you introduced him and Arrow beforehand. And I think there was also an episode of Arrow during season 2 where you introduced Caitlin and Cisco, so they were already established.
Yeah, that was season 2 episode.
It's 19 or somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was a very quick scene with Deathstroke. Yeah.
It was towards the end of the season. Yeah,
which was so random.
17,
right?
Yeah, it was so random though.
Yeah. Then that's how Felicity found out about Iris West and that whole thing because she was still having hope for Barry in their relationship, and then
Yeah.
oh yeah, Iris been with Barry the whole time. Like checking to see he's okay. Like, who, Iris? Oh, okay. So yeah. But yeah, I felt that with that whole, obviously the shipping of each relationship on the show. Like when is it season 1 or 2? I think it was season 1, where Barry, I think he was either mind controlled or he was under like someone took control of his body.
Rainbow Raider.
Yeah. And then he actually kissed Caitlyn, and Caitlyn didn't,
Or no, that was somebody pretending to be Barry. I can't remember the guy's name, but the one
the chameleon or guy, like
like Everyman, I think was the character's name.
Yeah. But yeah, that happened. But then you can tell that when Caitlyn got kissed, she's like, okay. And then or when she I think it was her birthday, and they went to karaoke, and then all of a sudden like she got really drunk, and then like Barry had to make sure she was okay, and then she switched her clothes, and she's like, "Oh, did you peek? It's okay. You deserve a peek."
Yeah.
Like,
so actually, it was episode 20 or episode 19. It was 20. I thought it was 20. Episode 19. Yeah. I was going to ask this question. How did we feel about at the end of the show? Barry decides to throw the lightning, and he introduces Avery Ho, Max Mercury, and Jess Chambers. Like, I honestly, it feels kind of random. And it feels kind of like, why didn't you do this sooner?
Callback.
I mean, I was fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's kind of frustrating. You bring in just random actors to, just to have them get hit by, or like they're going to get hit by lightning, and that's it. Like, you don't see what happens next. I get it, but at the same time, it's like,
there were far more things to criticize in the finale than that.
Yeah, I was like, that's not even half of it. But
yeah, I get that point. My thing was like, oh, you're going to introduce some pretty heavy hitter speeches from the comics, but they're going to be introduced at the very end, and you don't get to see anything from them. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can get why you'd be disappointed on that. It didn't bother me too badly.
Yeah, I think it wasn't the fact of like, okay, yeah, the nod there just to wrap everything up, but it was just more of like, okay, you got like there's a lot of filler obviously in the later half of the previous two seasons where like you could at least introduce some of these characters, because they definitely were mentioned, I think, in season 1, whatever, by Tom Cavanaugh, like when he was talking to Nora. But at the same time, at least just kind of mentioned that they were there the whole time, so that at the end, at least we know who they were, to the point where it's like, okay, have at least like some little significance, the way it not be like, okay, we don't need to spend a whole episode of their backstory. That's not the point. At least we just know who these people are, so that would be the feeling be more gratifying. But for me, I wish it would have ended, the way that Grant said it. Is like, no, he actually became the lightning that struck him back in Arrow episode, like the Arrow mid-season finale, and like to basically be the lightning bolt that gave him his powers. Now, if they want to do that in terms of actually killing him at the end of the season, obviously that's the whole thing of not trying to change the future. Now we're in a new reality and everything, so that that previous timeline never existed. But again, for me, also as a Wally West fan, it just would have been nice to probably end the show on a crisis event. But
yeah, I heard the whole theory, the whole theory that was going around about how Barry was going to become the Lightning. I never really hoped for that ending. And especially when we saw how the final season, ended up playing out, I felt like if they would have done, do Red Death with the amount of episodes they had, and then I get that they couldn't bring Eddie's actor, I'm forgetting the name, but
Rick
I get
Cosnet.
I get that they couldn't have him in more episodes for that Cobalt Blue story, but I still think you could have done more to flesh it out and explain how exactly the negative speed force was affecting it, because they really didn't explain it that much. Have more of that where it's developed. And do that as the penultimate episode where you're going up against all the evil speedsters, and then have the actual finale be them paying off the end of season 1. Have that be the actual final episode.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's the way I would have done it if that were me. Yeah, and you're like, I wasn't begging for that sort of thing to happen. I was like, you know what? I was happy with how they did the season 1 payoff. I think it was one of the best things the show ever did. And honestly, I was just happy that we actually got to it and it's crazy because it's in a season that a lot of people are really against and see as one of the worst seasons. And it's like one of the best things they ever did in the show.
Yeah, I do like how they introduced the Flash ring. I love that. I mean,
yeah,
it took forever, but
yeah, because they teased it all the way back in season 1 with Thawne's ring.
Right.
And I think Cisco asked, like, "Hey, could you show me how that works?" And it still took forever to get to it.
Yeah.
And then I think Nora's the one that gave him the ring, right? And then that's the new suit. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, and it's so unrealistic the way everybody reacted to that. Cisco's like, "Oh, I made this." It's like, you cannot be impressed by the way this thing looks.
Do we all agree that the Flash season 5 suit's the worst one? I don't know.
The suit itself.
Yeah, the suit itself, not the season, the suit.
I don't think
is that the one where the cowl is like kind of detached from the rest of the suit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, I mean the rest of the suit looks fine, but the cowl itself just does not look good. I don't think those suits really.
Yeah, that's like, that. Yep. Nope.
Those suits do not support the lack of a chin strap.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Grant was not happy about this because this was a costume test that leaked. He was pissed off when this came out.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
I would have been. And it sucks too because the season 4 suit is like one of the best ones, and then it's such a big downgrade.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the season 6 suit. Oh yeah.
And if that's the suit Barry has in the future, that season 5 one, you go from that perfect comic accurate suit at the end of the show to
then you go to this in season 6. You go to this. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, and then I feel like they left the boots red in that suit on purpose just so they could build up to them getting the yellow boots, which I don't know why it took an entire 7 seasons and like a couple episodes after that for it to do it, but I'll give it to them. They earned it.
Yeah, literally. Because season 8 didn't have it, right?
Season 8 is where he got it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Then
like
season 9, they just kept the same suit.
Yeah, it was like at the end of Armageddon where he got the gold boots.
The Flash. Yeah, I thought it was funny that they put Grant in the Reverse Flash suit.
Yeah, and that new Reverse Flash suit, Grant's the first one you see in it.
Yeah.
I'll say though, I did not like the way the new suit looked on Tom. I mean, even though a lot of people say, like the old one looked better. It's like, yes, but the old one really only looked good with the vibrating effect, and this one I don't even think looked that great on Tom with the effect, but surprisingly it looked better on Grant.
Yeah. It's kind of jarring though, but yeah, I think
a little bit. Oh.
That's a to edit though.
Yeah.
That's funny though.
Yeah, I prefer the yellow and black over the all yellow personally.
Oh, so this one, the original, this one.
Yeah,
even if it's less comic accurate, it just looks better.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit. I always thought all yellow and red was kind of goofy on the Reverse Flash. So when they did yellow and black, I was like, that is a great difference. That's a nice deviation. They should do that in the comics.
Same thing I thought with Professor Zoom, because his suit's the same way. Then he shows up as this all black demon with blue lightning. I was like, okay, you just made him 10 times cooler.
Yep. 100%.
They even improved a whole lot on Savitar's comic design, because you look up Savitar in the comics, it is nothing like what the show did.
I think that's a lose-lose situation either way, because Savitar in the comics looks goofy. Savitar in the show looks just as goofy, if not goofier.
I thought the design for Savitar on the show was honestly pretty great, because they took a lot of design from the future Flash suit and just kind of made it into their own thing.
Sure.
Well, so he doesn't look as great whenever it's the practical suit, but I think whenever he's in full CGI form, it looks good.
Man, I don't know. I was just not that big of a fan of Savitar personally. That was I watched all of season 3, and I just remember thinking to myself, like, okay, I'm a little burnt out on speedsters. And then they announced that the Thinker was going to be the season 4 villain. I was like, oh, thank fuck.
Yeah.
Finally, something different.
But then, after a while, like after the Thinker, and then, the Cicadas, people were clamoring for speedster villains again.
Yeah,
So, like,
you can never please everybody. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, exactly. No
But I
one's
mean,
ever going to be
you
happy
had
with
good
anything.
non-speedster villains that were in the show. Whenever Thinker was played by Neil Sandilands, thought he
Oh,
was
that
a
was
great
great.
villain.
Oh,
Bloodwork,
yeah.
one of the best villains in the show, in my opinion. And yeah.
And this is interesting. So apparently, when they're creating a new suit, it starts off as black. Like this is so we didn't know this until Grant posted this photo.
That's funny.
Yeah, so literally it does eventually go to the red, but like this is like the base of it.
Yeah, I think they do the black just so they can get the design pattern down right, and then they add in the color later.
Yeah. So I found it fascinating that that's what the original startup is. Like that, which like, okay, what would that look like on screen? Like, would that look good?
Yeah.
You know, that's only ever been done one time, or not one time, but it's only ever been done a handful of times where Barry has a black suit in the comics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dark Knight Strikes Again, baby.
Yep.
Well, I guess we'll let him in. I mean, I don't know. Should we? I don't know. What's up,
Hey,
man?
Alex.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Did you have to quote the best thing? We are the Flash, really?
I think my goal is every time I make an appearance, I do something like that. I think that's my goal. That's my goal, just for you.
Girl, I appreciate it.
I think you were meeting your quota.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So what is your favorite season? I think it's 1 or 2, but I don't know.
Honestly, 5.
5.
Cicada. Gracie.
I was about to
I
say,
just remember
you could not say that with a straight face.
I remember just the absolute drop in quality. Obviously, like that tends to happen with those shows, but that was just like the kind of the point where you're like, oh, we're not going back to that, are we?
No.
Nope.
No.
I mean, probably 2. 2 is just like the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a great representation of what that show could be at its best.
I loved when he beat Barry and he goes, "It's zooming time," and then
and zoomed everywhere.
Yeah, he zoomed everywhere.
He
Well,
did
he
zoom
literally
everywhere.
did. He was dragging Barry. I remember I was rewatching the episode a couple weeks ago. I'm like, my God, he's dragging him.
And that was the first time we really got explored with the multiverse too, and it probably looked a lot more, I guess, fantastical is the word than it came to be later. But when they kept going into other realities, we're like, oh man, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then I loved how we were all tricked into thinking, oh, this is actually Jay Garrick. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah, that's probably the best twist they ever did.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and then actually having Jay Garrick be Henry Allen's doppelganger, I was like, you could not have done that better.
Yeah, that was a great reveal. Definitely. Yeah, season 2 was just all sorts of fucking amazing, man.
Good.
Season 2 was so good, man. Oh man, heroes die. That's chilling. That was a chilling line delivery.
Everything.
Like another smart thing they did was get Tony Todd to do the voice of Zoom. That was a good choice.
Always good.
It's crazy to see that.
Yeah.
That is liar.
That is such a good legacy role for for John Wesley Shipp. It's not even funny. Like when he was cast as Henry Allen, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. They make him the father of the Flash. I was like, oh, I see what you're doing there. And then they do that, and I was like, congratulations, you've literally one-upped yourself in the same show.
Right.
Good job.
I mean, I always thought he was a pretty good Henry Allen, but then when they showed, he's Jay Garrick, I'm like, that is just perfect.
Yep.
Wish he could have appeared a little bit more as Jay Garrick.
Everyone, like, when he was cast, everyone was like, oh, is he going to be Jay Garrick? And everyone was like, not quite, not yet.
Yeah. I just I looked over at Alex and he's just like, fix his mic.
Am I sounding okay? I don't sound too like.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay,
that's good.
Yeah, you sound just as terrible as every other time. Okay. Oh man.
Okay. Was season 2 when they did that Earth 17 Flash like tease?
The Accelerated Man.
Yes,
that was 3.
Yeah, season 3. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, and the fact is, it's like, oh, come on, it was so good, and it's like,
you're right. It's like
done.
That's probably one of the most accurate suits they ever did, and then you see him for a total of like 12 seconds.
Gone but not forgotten. No, forgotten.
Literally. The people are gonna go back and go, did that actually happen?
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, I know, right? one thing I noticed too, especially in some of the early suits, you were showing this earlier when you showed the image of Grant's. A lot of them had issues with the cowl, like especially in the neck, because I think especially in Wally's suit, you notice this how they're kind of down like this and on the shoulders. So
yeah, over time they had to
difficult
fix
to
that.
move.
What same thing with the Batwoman suit in season 1? Like it was like she didn't have much of a neck movement room, so you notice there's a shift when they change up the cowl and change up the neck. Like they made it to where it's just easier to kind of manage.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's a trial and error.
Yeah, for a while they were kind of doing the Michael Keaton Batman turns whenever they.
Oh
had
my god!
Oh yeah.
Oh, I hurt my neck recently. Like not bad, but like I couldn't turn, and the Michael Keaton Batman memes around my friends were nonstop.
And you're just like, hi, hello,
Yeah.
how you doing?
How can I help you today?
Oh, while you're at work. Hi, customer.
so
How
bad.
can I help you? I'm Batman.
Oh man,
Do you have a credit card? I do.
Never leave a K without it.
That's what you should have done.
That's good. That's good.
And then you talk like that too. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm here to help you.
I'm here to help you.
Yeah. Hi,
Yeah,
Freeze. I'm Batman. It's like,
You brought up Batman. I think Barry was the first one in the Arrowverse that ever said the word Batman. Now that I'm thinking about it,
in the crossover, yeah. Well, he was the one who was like, he was like fangirling like crazy about Batman.
Oh my god!
And then you have on the other side, you have Oliver Queen. He's like, he's not real. I'm the first vigilante.
Because he's stubborn as crap. That's why he don't want to admit it.
Oh, he
He's
is.
like,
Yeah.
no.
Too bad he wasn't a leftist though.
Well,
That would have been funny. That would have been really funny if they
What
did
can we
that.
do?
But they're not gonna go full political on the CW.
Well, I
so-
mean, they already got bashed pretty hard whenever they even went a little bit political.
right.
That's
Yeah,
true.
you know.
Whenever they had like your episodes about gun control and things like that, those weren't received well.
Okay. Oh my god! You know what always confused me? They had that episode of Supergirl where one of the characters' fathers doesn't approve of them being in a relationship like that, and it's like, wait, isn't your president Wonder Woman? So why would she have a problem with that? You can't mix real world issues when
'cause
your
she's like-
president is
Right.
My other plane. Wink, wink. Hint, hint. Nod, nod. Which you wonder, like, is there a Wonder Woman? I know they're not saying she's a Wonder Woman, but is she secretly a Wonder Woman? No one knows,
Yeah.
and no one
She's
knows
a
that Wonder
Wonder
Woman.
Well,
I
you guys
don't know.
remember, you guys remember that promo they released? I think it was one of the Supergirl promos where she like is wearing these kind of Wonder Woman like boots.
Oh, she's wearing
Oh my
the
as
boots.
they walk
Yeah.
onto a set, and then she's like, "Oh, I got these from a friend," and then does the Wonder Woman pose. I was like, "Really?"
Jeez.
Well, I think about like
remember.
I think it was
That's-
season 1 of Supergirl where Wynn's like talking. It's like, oh, you know, my cousin got it from a friend. Oh, you mean the
Yeah, that guy.
that guy? Oh,
Yeah.
Come on, guys, come on. We know what you're doing.
That's what they call being on the nose.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well,
There's no little bit about it. That's what you call being on the nose.
I think even back in early Arrow too, like early Arrow, they were saying, "Oh, you know, us billionaire vigilantes really like our toys."
Well, that's true.
God, I remember watching compilations of like every Batman reference in the Arrowverse so far, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
"It's gonna come, it's gonna happen."
Yeah, and then as soon as Elseworlds came out, those videos got like 10 minutes long.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh yeah, we did cast him. He was already in Arrow though.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like in one of the first episodes ever.
They had like one or two lines.
Yeah, and then the only time you ever really see him is as Hush.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there
Yeah,
was a Themyscira tease in Legends.
Yeah, there
I forgot
was.
about
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Themyscira, not
Maybe-
Themyscira though.
that. Maybe if Legends
Themyscira.
did something DC related in its later seasons, it could have saved it.
Well,
did it ever?
Well, in the first couple seasons, yeah, but then they kind of stopped.
if they really wanted to save that show, they should have had Zach Braff also come on as well. So that's what they should have done. But what do I know?
Yeah, what do we know? We're just
Um,
consumers.
Well, I mean, you know. Does it right? Should become Adam? Yeah, he does. Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the plan. Well, you know.
It was
What-
weird that they had him in Crisis though, because he didn't really do anything.
Yeah, they had plans for him, but unfortunately, Alex, you didn't finish the show, did you? Or when did you stop watching?
God, that's a really good question.
I don't
think
even remember.
It's I think like right when Godspeed was going to be introduced. I believe.
Oh,
I know. I just finished Arrow. I didn't finish Flash or any other one. But I saw scenes. I definitely saw scenes like the lightsaber battle.
And that made you go, I definitely got to get back to watching this.
Oh yeah.
This is it. I was drinking the night that episode aired, thinking I just completely saw it. I wake up the next morning, I saw a scene on YouTube. I went, "That was real."
Yeah, it was real.
I saw the suit and everything. I was like, "What?"
Oh, that's real. And fun fact, that's actually the last episode my wife reacted to the Flash. Was that one?
Wow, what a way to go out!
Yeah, she didn't come back for season 8. And I'd have to tell her everything. She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, and then the more and more the show kept going on, she's like, "I'm not even shocked." After we saw Star Wars,
No.
I wasn't even shocked.
Oh my god. I think I saw a scene and it was like they're attacking like a lava monster and they're all like coming in and doing their little one-liners. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
I'm doing my part.
Yeah.
I'm doing my part.
God,
It's like the start of the final season because Barry's like, "All right, we're back one more time." It's like,
Well, I don't
okay.
think that was even a real scene. I think that was like in his head or something.
Yeah,
I think
that was a real scene.
I think it was a
It-
dream.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
We like to
dream.
think that. We like to think that.
Well, also you think the season 2 premiere, same thing. Eddie shows up at the end when they're circling around in the camera, and he's like, "You're always the hero, Barry." I'm like, "The fuck are you doing here? You're dead, man."
Yep.
I think.
Okay, I think now going to the Eddie Thawne finale of it, I feel they were maybe about 4 or 5 seasons too late.
To bring
For
it back, you mean?
yes, because there was such listen, I think the actor who played Eddie Thawne, I think he did a really good job, and definitely I felt was even a good counteract with Tom Cavanaugh's Eobor Thawne as well. I think that was a way to to expand also the lore of that, but I think just their performances though were just great. But to have the Cobalt Blue finale only to it be some type of I really have no issue with the suit or anything. It really just bothered me the one how it was just red lightning and like it with the blue suit. That just didn't make no sense to me. I understand the negative speed force and all that, stuff, but it's just like, come on now. But I felt like to have that connection and everything they did in the final season, only for like, no, I want my reality. I want her Iris to have my baby and all that stuff like that. Like, this should have been like the season when they got married, which was like what, maybe season 3, 4. I think it was 4.
Yeah, 4.
Like maybe if you're gonna bring Eddie to do something like that to stop a wedding, like I object or something.
I object.
Stuff like that instead of waiting for the series finale to be like the dude's already been married, years on end, have a daughter here and stuff. I'm just like, and what? The only difference is like, oh, the negative speed force will create hallucinations where Nora, the only difference that makes her look like freaking Eddie's daughter's back to her hair salon. Like that was so stupid.
Yeah. They literally just saw it as, hey, this actress is appearing in this episode. We're paying her anyway, so we're just going to throw a wig on her. That's all they did.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Is it
even though Barry originally should be blonde? But anyway,
yeah. Is it weird that when I type in the Flash season 9 premiere on YouTube, the first thing that pops up is my playlist for the reactions to season 9? That's kind of weird. Like, huh? Why am I number 1?
I guess you're the top result.
You're that big, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, watch you since I was in high school. Come on.
You suck, man. Your opinion's ass. Shit.
Yeah,
I know.
Don't miss those comments. That's for sure.
Oh God, I think someone made a comment today on when I reacted to the Batman animated show, episode 4, season 1. They're like, "Hey, man, this is good reaction, man. It's good background noise for work." I'm like, okay,
thanks,
man. All right, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, honestly,
you're watching.
Yeah, I mean, when people are like, "Hey, I watched this guy on my lunch," I guess, hey, you're getting the interaction.
Yeah, you're getting the view.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I've gotten comments where it's like, "Hey, this brings me back to the older days whenever it was smooth narrations and then the frame rate was really low." It's like, okay, I feel like you're half commenting, half making fun, but at the same time, I'm getting your view, so I'll take it.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I was getting the view, so I took it.
You're a piece of shit.
You're a piece of shit. You suck, buddy. Get better. Get a better computer.
Or as the kids say these days, get good.
Get good, boy.
Yeah, but no, it's just like when I watch the reaction videos, it just reminds me of good memories during that time. Just like at least as in the community, even this before I became a content creator, just like we were at least a little bit happier back then. Like
Not yet.
It's just like girls going on our personal lives and stuff. At least we had like a show or and stuff like this to like kind of escape through and just kind of and watching people reaction videos at the time, like and then watching the compilations of those reactions. Like shout out to Adik the One and all those people, like that showing the compilations of Iris' death, and then everybody crying like, oh my god.
And then all those memes that went on later, they said Savitar had one job.
Okay, he's not the Flash, but he is the Green Arrow. What's up, man?
Oh, nice. I have a jacket over there too. We could totally be matching now.
I like how it cuts off after 5 years on it. It cuts off.
Yeah. I had to bring out the special outfit for this special stream. Hi, everybody.
You know it's not the 10-year anniversary for Arrow, right?
That's okay.
Don't worry about it, guys.
Actually, technically, I also have an Arsenal costume, and it would technically be the 10-year anniversary of Arsenal because that's when Arsenal.
He did get the name in season 3 of Arrow,
yeah.
Arsenal.
I did not think that one through.
Which I mean, I guess I guess we can do the Arrow stream in what is it, 2027? Whenever it's 15 years.
I'm gonna be. Hopefully, I'm dead by then. Jesus Christ, I can't do this much longer. My God, are you kidding me?
Nice outlook.
Well, I'm hitting 10 years on the 24th this month. I'm good. I don't think I can last that much longer.
Oh, Flash is trying to steal your mojo, apparently.
Mm-hmm. They beat me to it. Didn't know.
That's right.
I wasn't even aware the show existed at the time when I started this channel. Oh,
yeah.
Didn't even know.
That whole universe. I mean, I had watched bits of Smallville back in the day, but I caught Arrow I think in the middle of season 2 was when I first heard about it, and then that starts, and then season 3 started. I'm like, oh shit, they're doing a Flash show, and then I started watching them both back to back during the week.
Jeez.
Yeah, you have to watch them, and you have to watch them in order. Yeah,
in order.
And you had to figure out because the airing order for those shows was different every year, so you had to figure it out.
It.
My God, that brings me back, man. Like when I started doing actual being a part of reactions, was the worst time to be an Arrow fan. Like I literally started Arrow season 4 episode 11 or something. Is when I was.
God,
I caught up. Caught up, and then that's where I was current.
And you're like, oh my God, this is so bad.
What is this?
What do people see in this show? Then you go on Netflix and you watch season 1, and you're like, oh, this is a
literally. I was like,
Then you watch season 5, and you're like, there it is.
That's what I'm talking about. He's killing people. Murder.
Yeah. I started watching Arrow because my martial arts instructor recommended it to me, and he pitched it as it's Batman but Green Arrow, and that's kind of the thing that got me into it. And it's like it is, but Arrow is still one of my favorite television shows of all time, next to The Flash to a certain extent too. And I got into it right when season 2 was ending, and then season 3 of Arrow, and then season 1 of The Flash was airing. I was I was just getting into it right when it was really starting to get good.
That's peak right there. Yeah.
So you could say that you started watching the show caused the downfall of it.
Okay, so here's probably a hot take, but I actually like Arrow season 3. I
enjoy it.
Good.
It's not bad.
I think Arrow's honestly, I think season 4 is the only bad season.
No, it's just the only issue I had was at that time was Felicity and Tumblr.
Oh,
Felicity was the best part. Shut up. No, okay. I can't keep it.
Sorry. For a second.
Felicity was as integral to Arrow as Iris was to Flash. Okay.
Oh no, I had no. Here's the thing. I have no issue with Felicity as a character. I just didn't like that damn storyline they've been dragging for 2.5 seasons of them going through relationship turmoil and everything. And I'm like, listen, whether they don't have the actual love interest with Laurel and all that, that's here or there. That's it is what it is. It's a TV show adaptation.
Yeah. But saying the word Olicity is a curse word.
It's the CW after all.
Right. I've escaped that for this long.
It's like, what do you mean you didn't tell me about your son that you just found out about an hour ago? Why don't you trust me?
And guess what? After I broke up with you, after I've been paralyzed, what I'm gonna do? I'm going to walk up out of my wheelchair and out of this room.
No, you forgot the best part. She left the ring and then she walked out.
She left the ring.
I don't know how she didn't win an Emmy for that.
No, she.
I know, right?
Oh, no, she didn't. They should give her an Oscar too. Fuck it. Who cares?
Oh, and you got to mention her fake cry whenever Laurel fucking dies.
Finally, she's out of the way. Yes. Yeah. I mean, look, I think that's what ruined the character for a lot of people is the Olicity thing because Felicity was not a bad character, and then it just kind of fell apart.
Felicity is really good in small bursts, but when she's the integral focus, that's when I feel like a lot of people really started to have their issues with the character, and myself included. Actually, I was talking about this semi-frequently since I've been playing Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League, but it's kind of the same opinion that I have about more specifically Tara Strong's Harley Quinn. I feel like Harley Quinn is also a character that's really good in small bursts, but when she is the main integral focus, that's when it's too much.
I can't believe she got a trilogy in the DCU if you think about it.
I think with Felicity too, I think at least she got a little bit better when they brought in young William, just so they had to do something different with their character besides just it's just like she has to learn how to be a mother.
She has to learn how to be a mom.
Mommy.
But it was also around that time where she had one of, if not her worst moments, where first she decides, "Oh, I don't want to marry you," and then we're going to hijack Barry and Iris's wedding and get married on top of them.
God damn. So disrespectful.
I had a watch party together because we got a bunch of my friends together for that crossover. We were all yelling at each other for like 10 minutes because we were all thinking the same thing, but we just needed to get our frustrations out because we were not happy.
Very understandable.
Because they'd been doing decently with the relationship up to that point. I wasn't like asking for more of it, but it had been written better than had been in seasons previous, and then that happened.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said that they didn't like Arrow season 6, and I'm kind of inclined to agree. Season 6 also was kind of
who was the one in season 6?
Was that Dragon?
Richard Dragon.
It was half Dragon, half Caden James. Yeah.
It was. I feel like 6 and then 7 is when the show kind of it hit that it hit that stride with 5, and then it just kind of started slowly going downhill again. It was like it really did feel like 5 should have been the end of the show, but then they just had to keep it going.
Yeah, because they were also wrapping up the flashbacks with Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
So we lost Mike. But yeah.
Who's Caden James?
I
need help.
Exactly.
The old man.
Honestly,
him. He's the same actor from Lost. I can't remember his name, but he was in that series. Yeah, no worries.
And then season 7 was that guy.
Yeah,
Ben. That's Michael Emerson. He voices the Joker in The Dark Knight Returns.
Yes, he does. He's also an evil.
He's also Brainiac in Superman and My Adventures with Superman. There we go.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, because that voice is that makes sense.
Michael Emerson's a G, but that was terrible.
I thought if they would have just combined the back half of season 6 and the first half of season 7 and had that be one season, I thought it would have been a lot better.
It should have just been Richard Dragon all the way through, but
right. And
I did like the reveal that Dragon walks in and kills him. Like he comes into the police station and stuff, walks in. It's like it's all been planned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the thing is,
and then Dragon was just kind of whatever.
It was kind of easy to figure that out though, because you had it's either Black Siren, Anatoly, or Dragon, and it was pretty obvious that it was Dragon.
It was literally, here is an entire cast of people that we have known for the past 6 seasons, and this random guy who just showed up.
Right.
Who do you think the main villain is? I don't know.
Which, I mean, I'll admit, they fooled us once with that, because, whenever they had Prometheus in the last season, I think because of the comic name, people were thinking, he's going to be Vigilante, and then, they throw you for a loop with that. So I guess they thought they could do something like that again.
Yeah, it's really
that ended up being a rough deal.
That
and then
I like that
in season 6.
That version of which one?
I like that version of Vigilante. I think it's well done, despite the fact they never ever revealed who it was. But yeah, that was cool.
In season. You mean an Arrow? Because they revealed who.
Well, no, they revealed him in season 6.
Did they? Who was it?
It's Dinah's old partner.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
See now.
That's why, because I didn't make it through season 6. I only watched through season 5.
See, Phil, I thought you were trying to make a meta joke where it was like, oh yeah, Vigilante in season 5 was so good, and it's a shame that they never revealed who he was.
Yeah, he was pretty good in that season.
It's like he was so cool.
I didn't make it
so
through
cool.
season 6. I bowed out like a couple episodes in. I was like, this is getting fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, when they had Diggle as the Green Arrow, that was where a lot of people bowed out.
Yeah, I was like,
God,
this is too much.
Like that suit does not fit him.
Flashbacks keep hitting me, man.
Yeah.
Oh no! You know what I look like? I look like when Barry went back in time, had to fight his younger self.
Yeah.
In the street.
I think that for me personally, just in terms of, again, going back to like season 6 and season 7 just kind of being whatever seasons of just Arrow, I know this is supposed to be talking about the Flash, so I'm sorry. But,
Well, it's tangentially related.
But I feel like season 6 and season 7 of Arrow was when I personally started feeling like the shows were too long. Like until then, it felt like 24 was like, yeah, it had filler episodes, but it was still entertaining weekly television.
Yeah.
But then at season 6 going into season 7, that's when I felt like these should really be like 12 episodes long. And I also think that Netflix kind of did a good job of doing that formula too, of like 8 to 12-ish episodes for a single season. Because then when you look at it at that point, it's like, okay, you can cut out so much fat in each of the seasons, and it would just be better for it. Like you can actually just skip entire chunks of episodes in season 6 and season 7, and it just doesn't matter.
You know, and CW eventually started doing that. You know, they had like Stargirl, which I think all those episodes are around like 13 season or 13 episodes per season.
Can we please just not talk about that show?
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know he didn't like Stargirl. Okay,
I watched the first season. I was like, okay, that's nice. No more.
I think Riverdale kind of did the same thing too.
I mean,
you're right.
Lois does that same thing.
Yeah, Riverdale had 13 episodes in the first season, and then it was like, oh, this exploded. Let's double the length of the season.
Can we please not talk about that show?
Why?
God, man.
CW was an era, y'all. Like, listen, I don't know how old everybody is on this panel, but that was, man, I remember when this trailer dropped, I was I was at lunch. I was like, yo, you see this shit, bro?
It's peak, Your Honor.
Whoa, yeah!
Look, it's me.
Look, it's me. It's me. The Flash.
Oh, it's the Flash.
Shoot, I remember whenever they had one of the original promos for Legends of Tomorrow, and they actually had Green Arrow and Flash in that promo.
Yes.
Yeah, that was all like pre-shot shit before, to try to sell the show.
Yeah, because by that point, Oliver is already gone from Arrow to Green Arrow, so even in continuity, that wouldn't have worked.
He spells it like that because his name's Alex. That's why this A with electric. God. Why do I have to explain the lore here?
Pay the fuck attention.
Yeah, come on.
But, you know, that Legend of Tomorrow's trailer, like they were using the same trailer music as the Wolverine in 2013.
Yes, they were.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And then they're trying to make this epic slowdown thing and see them like all flying in the sky with Hawk Girl and stuff. And then at the end of the trailer ended with like the atom shrinking and stuff.
Hawk Girl, did you know she was a barista?
Yeah.
They felt like telling you that every 5 damn minutes.
Yeah, they did.
I want to try to find it. There was a trailer they released for Legends of Tomorrow. It was our first official ever look at all these characters crossing over. Yeah, and it was like insane. We lost our fucking mind on that.
Is that the one where it's Flash and Arrow talking to them on the
No,
rooftop?
it's Invasion though. It's when Supergirl finally crosses over.
Yeah,
the Invasion storyline. Yeah.
One of the earliest like individual character teasers that I remember them doing for Legends is, I think this was even before the season started that year. Because like everybody pretty much figured that like they were going to bring Sarah Lance back for that team, but there was like a small little teaser that came out of you just see her starting to rise up from the pit before you actually see it in the episode. It's like, okay, I know where they're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't confirm whether it was Lazarus Pit or not, but it's like, yep, Lazarus Pit.
You pretty much knew if they were bringing her back, it was going to be through that, which that's personally how I think they should have brought Oliver back when he, quote unquote, died. But, you know.
Yeah. And then see, I love how after they brought Sarah Lance back, they were like, all right, This is the last time. This is the last time we're using this pit.
That's it. Never again.
Seriously.
But right after they do that, it's like, all right, so 2 canaries is too many, so now let's kill off the other one.
Right.
Well, yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and then we bring in another canary.
The next one.
And then another one.
After we bring the next one.
Dude, this is the thing that pissed me off the most about Arrow, because I waited 2 freaking seasons for my boy Roy Harper to get his Arsenal costume, to do the Arsenal thing, and then they barely fucking use him in the season. And I know that Colton Haynes had his own shit going on, and it's that's just it is.
I mentioned that earlier.
But I was like, dude, like, and then they just
I was mad about what happened after that, because they brought him back in season 7 as a regular. You know, he was ready to go full throttle. Then he's in like only a third of the season, and 90% of it's in the future. It's none of this matters.
In the future.
None of this matters.
No.
I just think that also too, for me, I love the Arsenal costume, and I'm so glad that they did not update the costume, just because I love it that much. But kind of contrasting that, when you see Wally West with like season 8, season 9 Flash costume, it's so jarring.
Yeah.
It takes you out of that crazy.
Because for a while, whenever Wally first got brought in with his Kid Flash suit, his design looked way better than Barry's.
Yeah, and then they just kept updating Barry's design, and they were like, "Oh shit, we're bringing Wally back for these couple episodes." Well, it's like we don't have the budget that we did like 5 years ago, so we gotta reuse the suit.
Yeah, because like, I remember the picture came out of like, when Wally, when the picture came out, the reveal one when he's like this, you know, and now obviously the same thing happened. Yep, the same thing happened with Roy. Again, I mentioned earlier with the actor that plays Roy Harper, is like Wally left, you know, the show, and then because he had his own personal thing going on, went to do, I think, what's the movie name? I Love Simon or something.
Yeah, I Love Simon.
Yeah, right. But that was my thing. It's like I'm a big Wally West fan. I think the criticism I had with this show that it kept giving Wally West stories to Barry. That was like the thing that was continuing thing that was pissing me off. Even like his love interest,
Linda Park. Yep.
You know, I understand that.
I thought it was funny how they show Linda Park on Arrow in a news broadcast, then you get to Flash, it's a completely different actress. It's like, what happened to you?
I mean, it's the same deal with the Batman. In the Batman, you get a news snippet of Salvatore Maroni, and then they cast Clancy Brown to play Salvatore Maroni in the Penguin.
Right.
Same kind of deal. You know, like when you have like a character like that, and it's a blink and you'll miss it Easter egg. It's like, okay, it's fine for that moment, but then if you're considering using the character, and I think, you know, considering that Flash and Arrow had similar but separate showrunners, it's like, okay, we're going to do our own thing. We still going to keep it in the continuity, but we still want to cast like a legitimate actress, not just for a special blink and you'll miss it moment. Like we want someone to play this role for an extended amount of time.
Oh, yep, there it is.
Yeah, this is the first official time we ever saw Supergirl crossing over with, like, that shot is crazy.
Yeah.
I know people don't love the Supergirl show, but like the idea of like, oh my god, there's like she's with all these characters.
No, that's literally the idea. That maybe people don't like Supergirl as much as the other shows, but it's the fact that
alone.
It's the fact that Oliver looks like he's about to smack her with the bow.
But they love her. They love her in the crossovers, though. That's the thing. They love her when she's on other shows.
Yeah.
Quality of the show aside, Melissa Benoist was Card Zor-El. Like that, she was great.
She did a great job.
Was great.
I know people who watched the show just because of her.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't blame them.
100%. Yeah.
I still need to watch Superman and Lois, actually, because I heard so many great things about that show.
I bowed out. It's strange. I bowed out of Superman and Lois after the first season because I thought the whole thing that goes on in the first season was fucking stupid. And then I made it to the second season. I was like, okay, this is leaps and bounds better than what they did with the first season.
Is it like so here's the thing that I'm confused by, and I just need to Google it, but since you guys are here, I may as well ask. It's not in the same universe as the Arrowverse, but is it
Correct.
still the same Superman that we've known? It's a completely different Superman.
Same actor, but it's a different Superman.
Okay.
Here's the fun part.
I know where you're going.
You should still watch the show.
I know where you're going.
But they teased for 2 whole seasons maybe we'll cross over in the season 2 finale. You have
okay.
You have Sam Lane, dad to Lois Lane. Because I've seen worlds, and thankfully our world has Superman. He's the only one. It's like,
And
I see.
And then in that same episode, you have David Ramsey coming up as John Diggle and appearing just the way he appeared on The Flash. He literally walked off one set onto another one. So,
and just looked nothing.
He just looks exactly the same.
He had to pull a double.
And they bring in Diggle for season 1 of Superman and Lois, and he is referencing shit from the Arrowverse, and they're like, forget it, because it's not true. It's like
they hand wave it.
I understand.
That
makes perfect sense to me. It's like they wanted to try to make something.
Yeah, in the pilot, because during the Elseworlds crossover, when they took photos of the actors, including Melissa Benoist, they had like photos of all three of them together, Lois, Clark, and Kara. They were going to have those, like a picture or something from that crossover in the pilot of Superman and Lois. Yeah. They removed it.
And I think even in season 1, Lois references, like, oh no, we know a lot.
Oh, she does.
Multiverse now.
There's a truck. There's a scene. She's in the truck and she references Crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
That scene when they were they referencing if there might be a Lex Luthor, like if it's going to be a different version, because that was the whole thing. Because they didn't bring the new Lex Luthor until what, season 4?
Three. The tail end of season 3.
Four episode 2 is airing right now. Yeah.
And then it's a completely different actor.
Yeah.
And
then you introduce that other character thinking that's another Luthor, and it's funny because you think that when that show first got announced, people think, they're just going to bring John Cryer right on over. Nope.
That's what I thought was going to happen. They were going to bring John Cryer.
They were like, "Is Lex Luthor black? What?" It's like,
because it was,
it was Will Parks. Everyone thought Will Parks was going to be Lex Luthor, and then you get the reveal of who Will Parks actually is, and it's like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing now.
Which I thought was actually a good reveal, honestly.
That was,
it was a good reveal. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch the show.
Yeah, you should.
Is it on HBO Max?
Yes.
I just recently got Max again. Unfortunately,
there you go. Get that Max.
For the Penguin.
I haven't Penguin.
Yeah, I figured.
I'm gonna watch it at some point. It was just like, figured we're
not
sharing
seen
it with my
Agatha
family
all along
members,
or Penguin yet. So
I've seen the first episode of the Penguin and nothing past that yet.
Yeah,
Penguin is top tier DC television at the moment.
Yeah, no, it is. No, it's definitely superior. Episode 3 is still, I think, each episode, when compared to what Marvel Disney Plus shows are, is that each episode feels like an entree that even if I have to wait a week, I feel satisfied. Which I feel that's a big issue now today in streaming television, is that the fact either you go into this 25-minute excluding credits number of episodes, and it's besides you having maybe a 35 or 40-minute episode on an HBO show, and you feel like, okay, that was enough. I can wait a week for this. But Marvel, I can get 9 episodes of these 20-minute and some change, episodes, and after that, the whole season, I'm like, I'm still unsatisfied. They still need to fix that. I hope they do that with Daredevil, but I mean, we're getting 18 episodes with them, so
we're not getting 18. Not anymore.
9.
No, not anymore.
They cut it.
I mean,
9.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about in terms of season 1 and season 2, the length.
Hopefully.
That's the hope,
have they ever been teasing up on the Penguin when Grant's Flash is going to cross over? Like, have they teased that up yet, or like?
Well, we gotta watch this episode.
Oh, okay. They're teeing it up. Okay, because I do think Melissa Benoist is going to show up soon as Supergirl. I think.
And then they're actually gonna have Stephen Amell pop up as the Spectre. Hate to break it to you.
Damn.
But remember, there is a musical episode, I think, on episode 7 of this season.
Oh,
yeah.
So that's where they bring all. That's where they bring
cameo of Lady Gaga.
That's when they bring Grant.
Okay, Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga specifically, not even.
Okay.
Not Harley, but just Lady Gaga.
That's when they bring Grant and Melissa back for the musical.
All right, you guys really had me for a second because I was like, "What the hell do you mean Grant Gustin's coming back in the pit? Like what?
Got him. Got him good.
Got him."
No, we were just gonna shit though.
Yeah. I forgot to mention earlier we had a Joker. I guess Mr. Locke didn't like Joker. I don't know.
I didn't like the first film
super
either.
chat. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, thanks.
Unrelated, but Joker sucked. What a crazy statement.
Yeah, unrelated, but Joker sucked.
I watched Jeremy John's review of it, and it was enough for me to go, okay, I'm just not gonna bother. And then I was watching another. I knew something was gonna happen at the end because there just had to be, right? But and without spoiling it, another TikToker that I saw on TikTok made a very vague but not vague ending of the spoiler ending where he was like they talked about like, oh, like this thing could hypothetically happen, and I was like, motherfucker, that's exactly what happened at the end because you said it like that.
Yeah, that's
and then
you can't watch shit, unfortunately. People are just assholes.
I was so
be careful.
So I just ended up watching the ending on TikTok.
If you have any like if you have any like, you know, thoughts of like, oh, I should, I would recommend it just to see, because look, I wanted to be wrong. I didn't like it, but I wanted to be proven wrong because I was someone going into that first Joker film with that first trailer going, why are they making a Joker movie?
Why? Yeah.
Why? And that trailer blew me away.
Yeah.
And the film's really good, the first one. So I don't know. I wanted to be proven wrong. I wasn't proven wrong. I was proven right, at least from my opinion, because there's people that love the movie. And Phil here, he enjoyed the film. I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
For me personally, I was right in a sense. They should never have made this movie, but that's just on me. Because to me there wasn't enough story, but that's just me.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's if you want to join in on the conversation and feel like, you know, I guess what I'm getting at is if you feel compelled to join the conversation, at least watch the fucking thing and inform your own opinion on it.
Yeah,
it's really not, and that's the thing that kind of pisses me off is so many people. Not you, Antonio, but like just so many people they rely on the likes of like a Jeremy Johns or a fucking Grace Randolph or John Campia or someone they feed off that shit. And it's just like, no, watch the fucking thing, form your own fucking opinion. Do not have people tell you what to watch and not watch.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me, it was more like I watched a review to sort of see, is it worth me taking time out of my day and then spending the money on it? Like that was me. And then I decided, all right, I'm just gonna watch all of the clips that I see on TikTok and then sort of understand why people are saying what they're saying. But it was to me personally, it wasn't worth me going to the movie theater to watch it. When it comes out on like HBO Max or something, I'll probably watch it just for the hell of it.
Sure.
But
give it a viewing just to see, because I mean, I think the opening number of like 1/3 is pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the musical stuff comes in, I'm like, it's whatever. They're trying something, but it's like,
you know, at the end of the day, you know, you like the film or you don't like it. I just wish we were, you know, not living in a time where, you know, people having different opinions from one another was such a sore subject.
It is. Everyone should agree with my opinion. So let's just
seriously.
Fuck, I mean, even you're wrong.
Yeah, like as a critic, I saw the film early at the press screening, and we were even like some of our friends, you know, me and Phil, who we know, like had a very, very strong negative reaction to it and blasted this bitch on Twitter, right? But when I was actually explaining it, you know, my feelings of it, because I'm more in the middle ground of like, as a critic who is, you know, have to write, have to do videos of this and stuff. I have a job to watch this, even though my expectations of it might not be the best. I still have to do it because this is my job, right? And my thing is that I think the worst thing as a critic to do is one, tell you not to go see the film or not, because I should be a promoter of cinema, period, right? And I think even then going to experience cinema and have a negative experience or saying that film was bad and here's why, I still, that's something still positive about going to movies. Sometimes it's still good to go to a film and say, hey, that was a horrible film and let's have a discussion about it and bond together. You know, that's it. Instead of saying, wait, you like the Joker? All right, you shill. Well, how much Warner Brothers paid you? Like, no.
Like, you shill.
Yeah. At the end of the day, with ones that you like, Warner Brothers paid me to ones that you have movie. Like a less than positive opinions on, I would say that, you know, at the end of the day, and I think this film's a perfect example. You know, you have to, you know, invest the time, see it for yourself, and, you know, see if you like it or you don't.
Well, and also people, will spend their money because I mean, tickets are expensive as hell too. So you got to take all that into effect. Because I mean, for me, thankfully in my area, it was $8 for the Wild Robot on Saturday, and then $8 for Joker on Sunday. But I know a lot of people, it's like $12, $13, $14 for a ticket.
Yeah, I live over by an AMC, so it's ridiculous.
Yeah, my matinee showing for the Joker was only $12.
But that's a matinee. So like, if you would have went later, it's like,
Right, exactly right.
Yeah,
right. Had I gone later, it would have been a little pricier for sure.
Yeah, so
but I also live in California, so there's that too.
Yeah. Also, fair point, Naruto. Not exactly 10 years ago, but the Flash movie was announced shortly after.
No, not necessarily.
You remember when Stephen Amell?
When the second episode aired, Ezra Miller got cast.
Bingo. Yes, the actor for the Flash in the DCEU got cast during the second episode of the Flash season 1. Yes.
Yeah, and Stephen Amell was pissed about that. Like he was like,
everyone was.
They're like, wait, hold on, we have record-breaking numbers for episode 2 of the Flash, and all of a sudden you announce another person to play the role, and then Stephen Amell, went on about the whole DCEU at the time on the Flash after show, and stuff, and so it's like he was so pissed about that. But then think about it in context. Flash was announced after episode 2 of Flash's first season, and we didn't get the film until at the end of Flash's 9th season.
It took the entire length of the show for it to come out.
That is insane. But
realistically, we should have had at least 2 Flash movies before the show ended on its run.
Possibly a trilogy.
Yes. Yeah.
I think too, another reason, and this is kind of why I was a little about it, was this was during the time where the extended universe was casting people who were also in the Arrowverse show, and because of that, they were getting rid of the people in the Arrowverse show, like Deadshot, like the Suicide Squad. So I think,
bro.
Yeah. So for me, I was like, oh my god, does this mean that they're gonna get rid of Grant Gustin's Barry Allen very shortly afterwards now?
No,
and I'm glad that they didn't.
Right.
They shot Amanda Waller in the head, straight up, point blank.
They murdered her.
I was scared about how, like, whenever they showed Tyler Hoechlin as Superman, because he wasn't a big character in Supergirl, I was like, wait, are they about to get rid of him after showing him for only like 2 episodes?
No, they're just gonna nerf him.
But that's more of a thing to the show itself. But that's just a whole thing to where they would say Warner Brothers was so stupid for this, to where they would say, we don't want to have 2 versions of these characters appear at the same time. It'll confuse the audience. No, it won't.
Yeah, it'll confuse the audience.
That's the audience does not have Alzheimer's. They will understand. They'll be fine. And when you bring 2 Flashes onto your screen, that argument is null and void.
Well, no. Here's the.
Whoa!
You mean the Flash on the TV show is not the same as
See now, this right here, this is the audience that Warner
Brothers
is afraid of confusing.
But you have Harley Quinn in Arrow.
Keeps making more.
But then you got Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie with Will Smith in the big screen.
In the big scene, Grandpa Michael. Grandpa Mike.
I did not know they recasted Isaiah. I didn't know they recasted Isaiah Bradley.
I want some Jello pudding.
Jesus! You guys mentioned the Suicide Squad. Fun fact, as we know, she briefly cameoed. They had an actress who was Harley.
Yep.
Yes, they did. Yeah. Yes, they did. They had an actual actress, and then in one of the episodes, they had Tara Strong do a voice cameo without actually showing a body for her.
They actually did some digging because I was like really curious about this. I wrote an article on my old website back in the day. So apparently, rumor has it, based on the interviews that were done, they were going to have Harley in an episode, and they were going to be having that actress come back, and they were going to be dubbing her with Tara Strong in post-production.
Yep.
But then, of course, it never happened.
Correct. They essentially used the Suicide Squad on Arrow as a test run to see if people would like them for the movie.
Which is stupid because they earlier in the same year they did Batman Assault on Arkham, which was basically a Suicide Squad movie.
Yep.
It's like
that was the main
character.
Better
Suicide Squad movie. The better.
Given my earlier comment about Tara Strong's Harley Quinn and just, you know, being overused in the like main character sense. I'm really glad that they didn't do that, because I just think that would have been really silly to have an actress come on and like do the lines and everything, and then have her be dubbed over by Tara Strong.
They did the same thing.
That would have been too much.
It would have just been lazy.
They did something similar with the old Birds of Prey show. Like they had Mark Hamill. Like,
Mark Hamill do
the Joker voice, and they had some other actor come in and play the character. It was like
that was very small, like a very small little sequence. But I think this would have been even more difficult. They would have had to found ways to mask her not speaking as much on camera.
Right.
I don't know how they would have done it, because Harley loves talking.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you would have pulled it off and made it not look weird.
And it is kind of funny that, you know, because somebody brought up Mark Hamill, you know, the fact that he played, you know, the Trickster back in John Wesley Shipp's 90s show, and then they brought him back to play the same character. And even though by name it is a different character, for all intents and purposes, he's playing a live action Joker.
Yeah.
That's what Hamill was doing.
Yeah. Going back to talking about the Flash, are we?
Oh, the Flash.
Yeah, well, I mean,
my goodness.
Bailey the Kid Lawrence brings it up that once they fired Harley, he stopped watching it. He shook a stick at him, shaking that stick. You shake that stick, Billy.
Yeah,
That's
I get it.
Back.
I get it.
Yeah, it was cool how they brought Mark back, and I will say though, I think this is like probably the best iteration, like the Earth 3 Trickster. Like it's really close to Joker, like the look of him. It's like.
That's not a coincidence either. That's intentional.
Oh, I know it's very intentional, because like before, this was him in season 1.
Right.
Yeah, it's like okay, but then that small little role,
and then him in the 90s series, it predates Batman the Animated Series. So
right.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's crazy.
Well, he even voices the Trickster in Justice League too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm getting nostalgia overload right now.
Well, they model his look after the original 90s show too.
Yeah.
Which is fucking hilarious.
That suit, man.
That's so. You see why Kevin Smith cast him as Cockknocker. You see that now. It's because of all of this, and it's great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Joker and Trickster abduct Mark Hamill in Justice League Action. Yeah, that was a whole thing.
Oh yeah. I forgot about Justice League Action. Honestly.
Yeah.
It was it was a thing
fun.
that was made.
It was fun. You know, it was fun for what it was.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't anything deep or emotional like Young Justice, but it was fun.
Young Justice. Oh
God, Young Justice was fucking amazing.
We gotta do another stream soon for Young Justice.
Do like a Young Justice, like
dude,
bring like
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in for that. Believe me.
That show.
Souvenir.
Big same.
Oh yeah, they were looking at doing a Suicide Squad.
They were. Yes, they were.
Yep, they were gonna have people like Bronze Tiger, Deadshot, part of that team.
You could easily see that working too, because like
Michael
every
J.
episode,
White, man.
like every episode or every other episode, you just kill off one ancillary character and bring in somebody new from the Suicide Squad. It just makes sense. It writes itself. But no, Warner Brothers was like, no, we got to make the movie first. No, fuck off.
Yeah, because we got to come back Guardians of the Galaxy. That's why.
Seasons, they got really, really stupid with it. And I forget what they actually said, but they kind of brought back the Suicide Squad in later seasons, but didn't call it the Suicide Squad. They had someone for it. And I mean, you had like Richard Dragon, China White, and
Cupid was in one.
Cupid and Slade Wilson's son was on that team too.
Yikes.
And it's like these characters had no correlations with each other. It's like, hey, people are pissed off about the Suicide Squad, so let's give them this. It's like, okay, I get what you're saying, but then you did almost nothing with it. So
yeah, it's like you're really just adding more salt to the wound at that point.
I'm not sure what's happening here, but I just saw a tweet from Darren. I just want to share this. So he's watching Superman and Lois. He's watching the show live. He abandoned us, typical. But he posts. I don't know what this means, but he is predicting that Tom Cavanaugh, who's in the finale, is playing Brainiac.
That'd be hilarious.
That'd be funny as hell.
Insane. Because he is playing a different character. He's not playing Reverse Flash. They've made that very clear. I mean,
good.
So
he's directed a few episodes of Superman and Lois too.
Mm-hmm.
He's directing an episode of this season, I think.
I've seen the first 3 episodes of this season. I won't say anything, but I'd say that might be very interesting. I'm not trying to twist my words here, but hey, that might You don't know.
I mean, at this point, with the fact that the show is wrapping up and this is the finale, even though it's not connected to the Arrowverse, it's the last thing, a part of this era. So if you're going to go out with a bang, because you've already done Doomsday, you might.
And Luthor.
Exactly.
Brainiac's the only villain that hasn't appeared yet.
Yeah, because I mean, I know people were speculating, like back in the Arrowverse days prime, they're thinking, do somebody like Darkseid. I'm like, they could never pull that off. That could not with the characters they had.
Yeah, with after Smallville, no. Like you barely scratched that surface with that. Yeah. Shout out to TNT. That's how I caught up on Smallville when I was young.
TNT.
Yeah. When they were playing it at 6 o'clock in the morning, right before I got on the damn bus, they played at least a few episodes. So I'm watching them during breakfast, and I got on. So yeah.
Wow. Somebody compiled 54 seconds of deleted footage from Joker that features Lady Gaga. And they're showcasing all the deleted footage they found.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
But what I was saying, it is kind of poetic, the fact that, CW started their journey into DC with Superman. They started it with a pre-Superman, a young one, and now they're ending it with a veteran Superman. So kind of comes full circle.
Yeah. Yeah. I really wish even though it was in separate universe, it would have been nice to see Melissa Benoist as an aunt, as a to these to the kids and everything. Like it just be something like as we're seeing this new, like not say version of Superman, but as a dad, as a father with older children, it'd just been nice to see Kara, who is always now being viewed as the younger one, being in a position of maturity to give wisdom to these young, to her nephews. I thought that would be kind of cool if they did that. But yeah.
And since this wouldn't be Supergirl's show, Superman wouldn't be used as a pedestal to prop her up.
Right. Yeah. Anyway.
Not going down that road again.
Anyway.
But yeah, so no. You asked at the beginning of this what everybody's favorite season was. I kind of just want to throw a question out there. Do you guys have a singular favorite moment from the series?
I don't know about moment, but I know like the first fight between Zoom and Flash immediately comes to mind.
Oh yeah, Inner Zoom. Yeah.
I think for me, and again, I'm wearing this outfit. It had to be the moment where Barry, Ronnie, and Oliver all came together to jump reverse Flash.
The only time Steven and Robbie were together.
Yeah. No, you took it right out of my head because that was the first before we even got to like Legends, any type of like team up, even like before we got any close to some type of Justice League on television. It's just like when they were showing, it was the Flash promo for the second half of the season. That's when they showed that tease of Ronnie and Oliver as he wasn't Green Arrow. He was what's his name?
He was also him.
I saw him and everything, but I was like, yeah, that was cool.
I think
when I hear that,
Arrow, I think the first crossover where it was on like Flash, and when Arrow comes in and they do his little theme as he like zip lines up, and then him and
crossover,
and his dad are like, what did we just see? And I'm just like, oh,
and Barry's just geeking out.
Right.
He's smiling. He's smiling. He's like,
cool.
That's my best friend.
Wasn't it titled Brave and the Bold?
Like that was the Arrow episode,
yeah, Brave and the Bold, and then the second half was what was the second?
That was the second half. The first half was a Flash versus Arrow.
Oh, speaking of that,
that's right.
Wait, that was a badass Captain Boomerang. Can we just say that? Like I thought, I liked his Captain Boomerang.
Better than fucking Suicide Squad.
And then they wasted him.
Yeah. Okay. Going back,
that's how you
that
do
was
Captain
the only
Boomerang.
time that we get to see. We only get to see Roy Harper interact with Flash. Basically, that's the only time.
Right.
I can't believe that.
And Roy never met Wally. Come on.
Yeah.
That is such a crime. I was so mad at that, dude.
I always wished that like they were somehow able to put Roy and Wally in the Titan show, just because I just thought that would be a really cool crossover idea.
They even teased Wally a couple times in it, I
They
think.
teased both.
They
teased
both
of
them. Yes. They mentioned
both Roy and Wally.
That's right. Arsenal got a tease in season 2, I think it was.
He was on the phone. He was talking to Donna.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Such a waste. I cannot believe they wasted my boy Quentin James like that.
Man.
But yeah, I know, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, him only interacting with Barry the one time, but even I still love his line where he's like, "Are we seriously like do we have an open invitation to the Arrow Cave or something?"
Yeah, and then they kind of change his tune where they go, "Oh, Red's so much cooler." He's like, "You know what? Maybe you're not so bad."
You just said the bunker, the Arrow Cave. Oh boy,
yeah.
There's been some stuff that's me, Alex, have said about the Arrow Cave. Oh shit, yeah, exactly. Flashback.
I already know where this is
going. You know what? If Oliver ever asks you to go down to the Arrow Cave, you say no. Don't you dare go down there. No.
Is there someone still down here with me?
You find the 1,000 bottles of baby oil down at the Arrow Cave, right under the bar.
That was the joke. Oliver got freaky in the Arrow Cave with everybody that showed up. So don't you dare go down in there.
Except his actual wife. No, I'm kidding.
The salmon ladder is a stuff of nightmares.
I know, right?
The salmon ladder. The salmon. Yeah, I think even when they did the body switch in Elseworlds, I think like he had Grant do it or try it or something.
Yeah.
Well, he did it in season 1 when he actually had his powers, but he was like speeding through it.
Yeah.
And you just see, I think it's Felicity and you see their heads going up and down. They're like, okay, wow, this is
one of my favorite moments from that first crossover was when Barry shows up with Sushi, has his mask off, and that Lila's there, and he's like, dude, no, she knows. Like,
they're married. They're married.
And I didn't tell her. He's like, oh, okay, sorry.
On a completely side note, I fucking love working on the salmon ladder. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah,
salmon ladders are so much fun.
Yeah.
Haven't tried.
Shout out to Big Belly Burger.
Oh, Big Belly
Burger.
Exactly. Vanished after the first couple seasons.
I think I'm bringing it back a little bit here and there.
They brought it back in Blue Beetle.
They would drop like names, but you never saw it after the first couple seasons.
Yeah.
And as far as like favorite moments, like one that sticks out. So the actual moment itself, not the resolution, but when he actually does go back and save his mom, setting up Flashpoint. I thought that was actually just a crazy moment in and of itself because, I didn't think they were actually going to do it, but they did a good job at, telling you that Barry was at his lowest point, that he would go do that. Now, granted, they did not resolve it well at all, but the actual moment itself was great.
Yeah.
That's fair.
The episode Kevin Smith directed was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
In the first season, something dinosaur, the dinosaur book.
Oh, the Runaway Dinosaur?
Yeah,
it was after. I think it was episode right after. It was episode 20 or 21.
21.
Yeah, because it was right after 21. He gets sucked into the Speed Force again.
Yeah, after he. Which, by the way, that was a badass scene of the fact that when Barry supposedly died, but he went to the Speed Force, and then the energy hit Wally and Jesse. Yeah. And I was like,
And you just see Zoom standing there with the ripped costume. It's like, Jesus. Good times.
Yeah, that was glorious times indeed.
And then also, I know you were talking about this earlier, Chainsaw, about how they kind of, started dropping down in season 4. Season 4 probably had the best and worst thing at the same time, which was the Flash Time episode, to where that episode itself was so good, but also it made you realize that why couldn't he do that in every other episode afterward? Oh
my God!
It's like that single episode in some ways was better than the show itself because they actually showed you how powerful the Flash can be.
That's a fair point. I think also too it would be they should have found like a better way to explain why he couldn't do that anymore or not as often, because he still did it from time to time, but not through a whole episode. But I think it was like they should have found a way to make it a point, because then it's like, okay, he can do anything. Right?
Yeah.
He can just fix any problem.
Yeah. I think they just wrote it to whereas he chose not to because it was too dangerous. I was like, okay.
Oh, this is a fair point. I like this point, Naruto. So when they did that crossover with and there was like super speed, I don't have it, and because he was riding the bike over there, like when he got the super speed, I have it. I have it.
There was a deleted scene from that one where he's testing out his speed and he's racing against Superman, which is like the closest thing we got to seeing the Flash and Superman race in that universe.
Oh, I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, why couldn't you have actually kept that?
Well,
and then they also paid off the first crossover where he's like, "Hey, go over there, run at me, and I'll hit you with an arrow."
He's like, "All right, where's the traps?"
That was great payback.
All right, I'm gonna have to bow out. It's getting a little late for me, and I have work in the morning. But I thank you for having me once again.
Man. Yeah,
I'm glad that I could be here for this special stream.
Of course, man. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up in a little bit, but yeah, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Have a good one, y'all.
Thank you.
Take care.
See you around.
You failed the city.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna play this real quick moment, not long, obviously, because copyright. But I'm so happy they were able to pull off Barry reuniting with Oliver.
Oh yeah,
in season 9.
Yeah.
Season 9 didn't do much right, but they did get this.
Oh, it's all what the hell at HD.
Oh,
yeah. God.
Oh.
Well, what the hell's going on?
All we got was Stephen Amell going, oh.
Yeah. The video's like running really slow.
Alex, did you ever see that episode?
No. The funny thing enough is that the only memory I have is being on Twitter and seeing Chainsaw going crazy and being like, "That's cool. I like that."
That's about it. I didn't see nothing else.
I really did.
Yeah.
But
there were about two. There were 2 hyped episodes in season 9, and then the rest was a mess.
Yeah. Shout out to when they actually gave the full circle storyline of the night that parents died. Like, listen, in television, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have never seen that in television. I think in last few years where they actually synced that perfectly in the way that they did. Like, it just I gotta give them props for that. Like, whether you say the overall season was not great, whatever, I agree with you. But that episode made it like, okay, job well done.
I just wish that would have been the actual finale.
Yeah. You're right, but I wish we have John Stewart Green Lantern. But hey,
we can't have none.
This is why we don't have nice things.
Yeah, never. I brought that up actually. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
the Flash.
I'm just hoping that I was thinking about this earlier before we started. Whenever because the Green Lantern movie flopped as hard as it did, that's part of the reason why we haven't gotten as much Green Lantern content or hardly any in the last 13 years, and there's been nothing live action related. And I'm hoping that because that's now happened with the Flash movie too, I'm hoping we don't go another decade without Flash content.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I really hope we don't have to wait too long.
Here's what I think is going to happen. They're going to do something like Brave and the Bold. It's not going to be, and it's also not going to be like the movie itself. They're going to do something different. It might be a limited series. It might be something else entirely. But I think the next time you see the Flash, he'll be accompanied by another hero, and it won't be in like a Flashpoint timey-wimey fucking crazy situation.
No multiverse stuff. Yeah.
No, it'll be a team up.
No,
it'll be a straight up team up.
Yeah,
that's my theory anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if one of those unknown projects. I doubt it, but there is, I guess, the slight possibility that one of the unknown projects that's yet to be announced in the first chapter is a Flash movie. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's not the case.
Well, I mean, we still haven't even got a Wonder Woman movie yet. We got a show, Paradise Lost and stuff. But I think we still got the first half of this, in terms of movies. I'm not talking about shows. Like movies wise, we only got what, 3 movies or 4? You have the Swamp Thing, Swamp Thing, Authority,
Superman, Authority, Supergirl, Brave and the Bold, Swamp Thing,
and then and then Titans, I guess.
Yeah. Dabba-dabba-doo. Yeah,
that's
all that.
Not,
wait to the.
That's not one hundo confirmed, but yeah.
Everybody lost their collective shit over this.
Right?
Barry Allen. No! What does that mean? How can this should be impossible now. It should be impossible now? You don't know about the... Oh my god, don't do this to me. I don't know about the what.
About the what?
Allegations.
Oh, the what?
Wow.
Get his ass.
Well, those allegations turned out not to be anything, so...
Damn.
You remember when they did the house ship ended up being a BVS, and then they have Flash showed up. He's like, Bruce, Rotten Tomatoes, Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean,
oh my god.
If you,
that's a throwback.
I mean, do I still have the clips? Oh, that's not even the same. Look at that
cool
background.
No, not that Gracie. Not that.
Not,
Gracie.
not that
Gracie.
Gracie.
That's the character I made.
Oh boy.
I still haven't gotten my royalty check in the mail yet. By the way,
where is? It'll come eventually.
Yeah, don't worry.
I can't even remember what we were talking about there. I just came up with the name.
still have. Jake doesn't remember what we were talking about. Shock, surprise, surprise.
This is a year ago. Get off my case.
Let's see. What flash clips do I have?
Do you have the one of Red Death screaming still?
Oh yeah, here we go.
Bring the war.
You don't want to use a different take? I mean, my God.
We were ending on a good note.
I know.
We had to bring the memes back for old time's sake.
Oh yeah.
Wow, you have seriously leveled up.
It should have been a drinking game with how much they said those two words in that show.
I know, right?
I forgot about that one.
We have this one, the infamous death clip.
That was a good death. That was a good.
Yeah,
death.
that was. I was like,
that's also one of the best episodes too, just because they pretty much went as far as you could go with a time travel episode.
I think this was when Savitar wasn't revealed, and I got really angry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember this.
Yeah.
Fuck! What the fuck? God damn it!
It's like he steps out of the suit and Frost sees it, and she's
and then
like,
we don't see it.
And she's like, "What do you want?" And then they cut.
That's a classic.
Oh, man, that was a good one. I'm trying to think. Are there others aside from that one that you haven't done yet?
I have the smile clip from when the last Cisco episode. Yeah.
He looks right at the camera. He looks right at the camera.
Yeah, that's what I noticed when I zoomed in. I'm like, oh, I do have the Cisco clip.
I leave Central City for 2 seconds.
Yeah, literally, he's.
Yeah, that's when I think Mike mentioned that he came back like 2 episodes. That was the clip.
2 episodes later.
Yeah, that was him. That was yeah. The last clip, we'll play the cicada clip. Yeah. Why not?
Is there any other one?
That? I don't have any other ones. No. Well, I do have the Let's Go from Constantine.
Oh, all right then. On with the show.
Yeah, that was
his first Arrow appearance. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
He so stupidly canceled his show.
We're gonna wrap it up. This is the final clip. This is the greatest clip from the Flash ever. It's so stupid. All right.
Metas killed your parents, Gracie. They all deserve to die.
Don't believe him, Grace.
It's even funnier when you look at how she's like this in the background.
Yes. Thanks to Antonio, who was here earlier, and thanks to Jake, Phil, Michael, and Electric Alex for being here to chat about the Flash. It's crazy. It's been 10 years. It's crazy.
Last happened.
Time flies.
You know,
yeah.
The thing is about
Crisis on Earth.
God damn it! There's only like one thing to really take away from this is like, no matter how many times they try and reboot, regurgitate any of these characters, the fact that this show is immortalized with Grant Gustin is just a forever treasure above all.
Yep. As much as people complained about the writing in later seasons, the one thing that was never a problem was Grant Gustin as Barry Allen.
100%.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He was great.
And I will say, as much as you have people like Campia who want to admit that try to say that no one likes, Flash or whatever, is the fact that meme of him peace outing a tombstone is going to be used for everything under the sun until the end of time.
Yeah, and the fact that Steven hates that is even hilarious. That's even makes it more funny.
When does Stephen Amell like anything from the Arrowverse?
Fair point.
I mean, more than Mark Guggenheim does.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, guys, on the Flash? I mean, I've said my piece over the years. I mean, it's. I'm so happy that the show exists. It's unfortunate the quality drop, but hey,
yeah,
most shows get that. It is what it is.
Yeah,
yeah, it's very rare a show stays consistently awesome through its run, but
and, not many shows get to air as long as that one did. So
right,
yeah. I think be happy that it happened. Again, it has its twists and turns, its ups and downs, but we can just be grateful of the time we were as a fan base, just to enjoy the good moments of this show, and hopefully maybe look back at what we could be moving forward. I think sometimes it's good to just like remember. As we're moving forward with other properties, as we get to another era, I am excited and yet also cautious about the next 10 years. Where we're gonna be in terms of the Flash image and everything. So I'm on for the ride, So yeah.
Let's see what they've got.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alex, any final thoughts there, sir? No.
Great words. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't finish it, obviously, but I will never forget what's happening.
Oh, there you go. You're good.
Is it me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, sorry. Just being able to geek out with like people in fucking reactors, like, and everything, just being able to share our enthusiasm and what we thought was going to happen next. I'll never forget that. That was always a great time. So
yeah,
I always have that special little place in my heart. So
that's adorable.
It was a big part of my life. It was absolutely.
Yeah, man. So, I miss watching it. I really do. I do miss watching it. Yeah, I do think Wally should have got a new suit. But
absolutely. He should have got better writing anyway.
Let's spend all day talking about that. The writing could have been overall better anyways.
That stream would go on for 5 hours.
Yes. Yep. Well, thank you guys for watching, hanging out, chatting with the Flash. And we do have Superman and Lois airing its final season this starting now. So there's something to look forward to. It's already aired its 2 episodes already.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's still a little more to watch in terms of this era of DC. But yeah.
Before it is over.
It is done though. But
the end is near. The end is near, y'all.
Creature Commandos in December.
Yeah, the new stuff.
Yep. Oh, look who comes in right at the end.
Yeah, right at the end. Darren, who watched the 2 episodes live. What? Darren, did you react to them? The fuck you doing, man?
Of course he did.
No, he didn't react to them. He doesn't react. Will I be reacting? Yes, I will be. I don't know when, because I got to figure out the timing. It's gonna suck. Yeah. I'll figure it out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.